everybody, and welcome to another episode of Caution Laps with Casey Bristow, an NSRLA podcast. I am your host, Casey Bristow, driver of the number 11 Progressive Toyota Camry last night in the Black Diamond Designs Cup Series playoff race at Richmond. Tonight we have a special guest, a new guest to the or driver to the NSRLA community. Please welcome Tyler Gebben. Tyler, welcome.
Hey Casey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So you're here with us tonight. You're actually the second podcast this week. This is the first time I've ever done two in 1 week. Usually I try to stick to one, but you're part of a interesting group of two people in 1 week. You and another
Well, I
guy.
got you working overtime, so gotta keep you working a little bit.
Yeah, Mark Cofield got you on the show. Not like it's real hard to get on the show, just like, hey, I want on the show. But he was like very adamant about getting you on. I'm like, okay, I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, it's Tyler. That's all I'm telling you. So if you have anything exciting to
Yeah.
say, just give me a heads up.
Well, I
And
guess we could start with that. He wanted to wait for me to tell you till I was on the show, but
oh boy, all right, hold on. Do we got like some really exciting news?
not really. But he
Oh,
wanted me to tell you that I work for a NASCAR truck team.
oh, you do.
Yes, so I work for McAnally Hilgeman. I'm an interior and tire specialist.
Nice, nice.
Yep. So he
Okay.
really wanted me to come on and tell you that, but he wanted me to wait until I was on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's
So
special.
So the whole time you were like messaging me like, why do you want to be on? I was like, how do I bullshit you without bullshitting you? Like, because he doesn't
Nice.
want me to tell you, but I'm like, here I just sound like just a random dude that wants to come on and just talk for no reason.
Yeah, no, no. Well, that's what it is. It's just us, you know, talking and getting to know each other. And congratulations, you're the first guy to cuss on this podcast. So, job
Oh,
well
I
done.
should.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
my bad.
We're adults. We're adults. I don't think YouTube's gonna care because you got YouTube videos where people cuss in them. So, and I
Uh,
mark it down as not for kids, even if
no,
kid could listen to it if they wanted to. We're
no.
all adults here.
I'll keep it to the one.
It's fine. I'm not
We'll
mad.
try.
I'm not mad. Although I did get in trouble with the league for dropping an F bomb in my media center, and they're like, "Don't do that." So I was like,
Oh,
"Okay."
why not?
Um,
Well,
they
that's a
wanted
good
to
thing.
keep it professional, and it's their league. I understand. But like when I
Yeah.
do the media thing, like when I reach out to you or any of the other drivers, like I tell them, be raw, be honest. If you're
hmm
mad at another driver, let us know. Like, don't hold back.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, you might get an animated one from me sometime, but usually the leagues
Good,
I'm
good.
pretty good about not getting overwhelmed or over animated. But if you catch me in a public lobby and somebody really messes up, I am so bad at clicking the mic. It's actually a flaw of mine.
Yeah, well, I understand. I try not to get too rowdy on the mic and in official lobbies because you could do the most. You can do the most outrageous thing and like just wreck the entire field going backwards, and iRacing will be like, nah, he's fine. Or you
Yes.
could just tap someone from behind doing like a bump draft, and it cause a wreck, and it's like unintentional, and they'll report you, and you'll get suspended for a week.
hmm
Or you'll be like, that was dumb. Just something just simple as that. And you'll get a vacation from talking. And then you can
Yeah.
cuss people out, from here to kingdom come and nothing. It's just, I don't know. Who's in charge of it? Just one person? Or there's got to be some
I've
bias.
I've heard, and I don't know, but you hear, especially being in racing, you hear a lot of things from a lot of places. But I've heard that really only one person goes through the protests, and he just does like a quick skim and either kind of blows it off or digs a little deeper.
Have you ever
But
gotten a vacation?
I've never gotten a vacation. I have been warned multiple times about retaliations.
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of warning. It's been a while since I've gotten a warning. Actually, I think I went
Better
on
knock on some wood with that one.
yeah, I went on a year long drought of not getting protested. And it's not like I try to do things that uh, that would get me protested, but it's like sometimes I'll make a move and I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like the last time remember getting protested, we were running the Indy cars at Daytona, which is just nothing but two trains going side by side because you can't really pass there, and like you can maybe make a pass on the last lap to try to win it, but I went below the yellow line and I tried to say this guy was blinking out, and he's like, "Yeah, that ain't gonna fly," and you didn't even admit it. So he told on me, and I got
Mhm.
a warning. So,
Yeah, I've had a few. My big thing, and I wish iRacing would understand it, but I get they probably get so many dumb protests in a day. It's probably not even funny. But my big thing is I wish they would go back, watch both sides of it, because I'm gonna race you how you raced me. So if you ran me into my door in the corner, I'm probably gonna get in the next corner and run you up the racetrack.
yeah, I'm kind of the same way, but like I take into consideration like, hey, if I need to get my safety rating up, or if it's high enough where I'm like, um, I'm not worried about it, like I can drop it down a little bit, then I will. But like,
Yeah,
I take it into consideration. But
I treat my iRacing like I treat my job. I'm here to win.
there you
So
go.
you
No,
you
me
get me
too.
competitive like that, and I'm like I almost don't care to a downfall sometimes, and I do tend to overdrive. Where that's the nice thing with like the leagues and being new into the leagues, it really does calm me down, and I'm like, hey, especially now being in the middle of like that Xfinity deal, that y'all are running in a championship, and I'm just there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I don't want to mess anybody's stuff up.
two things. Well, before I get into that, I get where you're coming from being competitive. Like there are races like, let's say it's at Daytona or at Talladega coming, which is going to be coming up here soon in all of the series of Cup, O'Reilly series and trucks. Like if I'm in those races, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to hang in the back. Maybe just for a while, try to avoid wrecks, and then like with 10 to go, I'll make my way up, and then like within 10 laps, I try to make my way to the front. That competitive nature just kicks in.
Hmm.
But how'd you find out about the NSRLA? Who did anybody invite you? Did you just come across it?
No,
What
so Mark got me involved.
oh, okay.
Mark got me involved with a lot of stuff. I met Mark through Brett Holmes. I worked for Brett for a season
Oh, okay.
on his race team. And then he knew Mark, I believe through iRacing and then some other people. And that kind of sparked it. Brett was like, "Hey, come run this league with us." Mark was in it. Um and yeah, that's pretty much how it started there.
Nice. And as quick as I was going to ask you these questions, I totally dropped the second question. Um, but that's okay. It'll come to me. But so you work for the truck team, McNally. Um, which driver specifically?
I'm with Tyler Ankrum. I'm on the 18 truck.
Nice, nice. Um, so you'll be in Daytona come a few weeks.
I will be in Daytona next week, or not next week. That's 3 weeks, and then next week we're supposed to be in Rockingham for a test, but it's already been canceled once. So we'll see if it happens.
Bad weather.
Yep. So that was
That
actually
stinks.
supposed to be our test was supposed to be yesterday and today. So when Mark originally reached out to me and was like, "Can you do this?" I was like, "I don't know. They haven't canceled the test yet." Because I'm
So,
supposed to still be at Rockingham right now if it actually went to go.
so when you said you were at work, you were at the race shop?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Which is also why I was like, I don't know if we got to schedule this later because there's some nights I'm at the shop till 7, 8 o'clock. Like I don't really know till I get there and figure out what we got to achieve that day.
Wow. That's that's so cool, man. Fun fact about me, I helped out a truck team of a local driver in my neck of the woods, like a few races last year. The 90 truck.
Oh yeah. Carol.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So
Nice. That's cool.
yeah, I just was like, I'm not a mechanically smart guy. Like I just don't know much, but I can listen and follow instructions and hand them a wrench or do this or go grab the fuel or whatever, push this cart.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not helping them this year. There's a guy on the team that not a big fan of, and I just don't really have a whole lot of time. But I will
Hmm.
be in Daytona for the ARCA race because I'm helping out an ARCA team.
There you go.
Yeah, they're much nicer and they're more allowing me to be hands on.
Hmm.
and I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
there's a lot of ARCA teams looking for people like that.
well, I live. The issue is that I live in Virginia. But these guys are like in my neck of the woods, so that's what allows me to help
Hmm.
them. But I'm trying to do tire changing, um, and they're gonna let me do it for this ARCA team. So come
Solid.
Daytona will be my first time going over the wall.
Yep. Yeah, that still be being the interior guy. This is my first time as an actual interior role. They'll send me over the wall as the sixth man, so I'll change water bottle, tear offs, anything else that
That's
Tyler
awesome,
needs.
man. So we might run. Our paths might cross that
We'll be
weekend.
around.
Yeah.
I
Um,
will be there.
I told the guy, the owner of the team, his name's the driver's Ryan Huff, number 36. So all you people watching the ARCA race, um, come February 14th, Valentine's Day of all days, cheer on the 36, cheer on Ryan Huff. Um, Last time he raced, he did pretty well, but he got caught up in a last lap wreck. So, um, but yeah, I told him I was like, my goal is to get some tire changing experience. Obviously, living in Virginia, there's no place to really train, which is unfortunate.
Hmm.
But I told him, I said, if I could get to a truck team, like if I could get one truck race in, or like in the future, like a year or two from now, like 2 to 3 to 4 truck races, like just off of experience, um, I would have like topped my goal.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking like, like guys like y'all. I'm talking like someone who might be 5 laps down, and it's like if I messed up on a tire change, um, like it's not gonna affect like them at all. Like, 'cause it's not like, oh, you cost us a chance to win. It's like, we were 5 laps down. It's fine.
But what's crazy is the amount of effort that pit crews, even in the truck series, put into pit crews.
Oh,
Teams
trust
are,
me,
I
I
mean,
know.
we get our teams from, I believe ours is coming from Trackhouse this year.
Good lord.
So, I mean, it's crazy. Even down at the truck level, the guys they're bringing in for pit crews and pit stops.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I tell you what, if you
I'm gonna
want to
keep
go have fun
trying.
at a racetrack, the best thing you could do if you want to get into it and do some hands-on stuff and learn is you got to get with the late model team. Do it for free. Do it at a local track on the weekends. Go in the shop when they want you to or when you can. It is the most fun you can have and the best way to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that into consideration. I live right by Langley, and there's plenty of late model guys. I just never thought of that. Um, but we'll see. I'm just
That would be the perfect place to go. Being with all the late model stock guys they bring out of there,
yeah,
it's it would be great, especially if you're on like, oh, I don't want to go like every day and work on race cars, but I could do like once a week during the week, and then I could show up on a Saturday and do a weekly show. That's how
yeah,
I started in Michigan, and it's the most fun I've ever had. I honestly almost miss it. I love late model racing.
yeah. I enjoy late model racing too. Late models, super late models. Even though we don't have super late models in my neck of the woods, just regular late models.
Hmm.
I enjoy watching them, whether it's on here or like videos on YouTube or whatever. But um, so a little bit about you. You said you're originally from Michigan, and then you moved. Where at in North Carolina are you?
So I live in Mooresville,
Okay, gotcha.
right
Um,
in the center of it all.
are you like? I guess someone who like would want to get into NASCAR. It's like, oh, I want to go out there to Charlotte, but I'm just gonna say Charlotte because instead of saying, welcome North Carolina or more, I'm just gonna say Charlotte. Like,
Yep.
do you see a lot of people in the NASCAR industry walking around? Obviously, you work in it, but like in Charlotte, like if you weren't working, you were just a fan, would you see a lot of people around town, or is it like they could walk right by and you not even recognize them?
You would probably walk right by them and wouldn't even notice it unless they were wearing their team stuff. But like going out places, nobody wears any team stuff going out.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'd bet.
Like
Like they're just
unless you're like getting right out of the shop and like meeting your family for dinner somewhere, but nobody wears their stuff around unless they're in the grocery store just getting out.
hmm. I was
Uh,
at Richmond last year, I think. Last year or the year before, I can't remember. But I was in the infield and I went to the restroom and I looked to my left and Rodney Childers is in the restroom, like just like a regular Joe, but he's like in his fire suit, like about to go
mhm.
do his thing for the cup race, and I'm like, that guy just. You'd think they'd like go to a porta potty um, or like a private bathroom because you'd think they don't want to be bothered by the fans or whatever.
No, a lot of the tracks, the cup side, I don't know about a lot of the garages, but most of the garage areas, they have some of the same bathrooms as the people camping or the people who are just allowed to be on the infield with passes and all that. It's very close quarters once you get down in the infield and with garage passes and things like that.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it from being a volunteer, and then I've seen it just from being a fan. Um, One thing I realized helping out the 90 truck was, um, we went to Martinsville. I didn't. Those turns look flat, but in person, man, they're kind of steep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Martinsville is a shell shock when you get to that one and you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, it actually has banking." And
yeah,
then it's weird because very up against the wall, it is flat and you're like, it looks goofy when you're there.
yeah. And like another track that I went to was Bristol, and I thought it was gonna be like cram packed up in the infield. It's really not. It's not as bad as one would think.
No, that one's not bad. I kind of thought the same thing. Martinsville's definitely worse, but Bristol, when you get stacked in there with the cup guys, definitely gets tight. And that place gets loud quick. When them cup cars are going around that place during practice, you better just have your earplugs on the whole time because you will go deaf.
Yeah. So how long have you been working with this team?
I started at McAnally in December. Before that, I was with Hettinger Racing doing late models and a little bit of truck stuff.
Oh, so you're like really, really new.
Yeah, I'm like one of their newest people there.
Man, like a month and a
Yeah.
half. Okay.
Yep.
Are you enjoying it?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Good team perks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to work on race cars every day, and I'm making a decent living doing it, so I can't complain too much.
That's good. One of the things I feel like, so let's just give you a example. Let's say I went down to North Carolina when I was younger. Like I'm almost 34 years old. You couldn't tell by my voice, I bet, but um like I would think like working for a team in the truck series would be like you might want to have a second job. This is just my opinion or what I would thought. I wouldn't think they would pay that great.
I think it's gonna depend on the team. Um, like even when I worked for Brett, and Brett had really good stuff and was actually pretty competitive with what he had and what the budget he had to work with. But even then, I made a decent living. Even the late model deal with Hettinger, I made a really good living. I think it really just depends on the team you land and some of the experience you have, and that's really it. But I think a lot of teams are paying decent, even in the truck series.
That's good because like do you live like by yourself or you have roommates? You like I'm not trying to get too personal, but like when it comes to like living by yourself in an apartment, apartments these days get so expensive. And I'll give you an example here in a minute, but like so like it do you live alone?
Nope. So I have a roommate. He owns the house, and I'm just renting from him, which
Okay.
works out really well.
So a few years ago, I was living in this apartment, and it was in this city that I wasn't crazy about, but the part of the city that it was in was like very calm. It was like polar opposite of the city itself. Um, and the rent for this apartment I was living in at one point was like $700, and it had like utilities included. That's like a steal, man. Um, and the time by the time I was moving out because I was getting married, the rent increased to like $1,000. So rent these days is just like if you're not making a lot of money, only thing you can afford is like to eat and breathe and drink water and sleep. That's about it. I feel like you would have no um social life. Not you, but just like myself.
Yeah, I mean Morrisville is expensive. The main like
Yeah.
area here, it's ridiculous the amount of money that's in this town and how much everything costs now. But being that you're working for a race team, and I mean I know my schedule, right? Like I'm supposed to work 7 to 4 every day, but that 7 to 4 very quickly can become 4 instead of 4 o'clock. It's 6, 7. somewhere around that time. So you do get a social life. Like I can still go out tonight and go to a couple of my favorite restaurants and hang out, and I could go meet some friends on the weekend. But once you start traveling, all you're doing is traveling. We go 3 in a row right off the bat, and then 2 weeks off, and then we go one more. So once you really get into the season, it's not so you don't have time to think, but a lot of times you don't have time to do a lot of stuff, especially if you're on the cup side. If you're running cup, you probably don't have a social life.
I bet. Um, what do you think? And just because I'm trying to, by God's good graces, get like pit crew stuff. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I tried. What do you think those guys are making? It's like I guess like the what I was going to ask earlier is like let's say a guy like me went down to the Charlotte area to do pit crews and I got picked up and I was doing races like pretty much every weekend, but like you know mid mid truck team to low Xfinity team. Um, do you think those guys have second jobs?
I doubt it. I think there's so much opportunity, or there's so much potential in speed and positions gained on pit road by having great guys that their whole job during the week when they're not traveling is to go to the gym, work out, and then pit practice. So I think it's still a full-time job and you don't have time. And I mean, cup level guys, they make more money than I do. And I bet they make more money than most. I bet anyone below a car chief, I would be willing to say that some of those pickers are making more money than them.
It's crazy to think like 20 years ago, like it's like 2002, 2003, like you see these guys doing pit stops. Well, maybe a little bit more because I 2002, 2003, some of those pit crew guys were big jack dudes, but maybe 1995, you see some of these guys doing pit crew stuff like in
Oh yeah,
t-shirts, and it's
it
like,
was the road crew that went over the wall. You were good at wrenching on the car, and then you were good at getting over that wall and getting those tires changed.
now you got guys at NFL combines being scouted by NASCAR teams. It's insane.
Penske goes to colleges and scouts guys. Like that is they have a guy who is a scouter who goes out to colleges and finds guys to recruit for their pit crews. And I'm sure Hendrick and Gibbs do the same thing.
Yeah, I know a few guys in that are pit crew guys. One guy is for Legacy, and then one guy is for Hendricks. And the Hendricks guy, I forgot how the Legacy guy got on. Actually, I know how he got on. He did the Drive for Diversity program with Coach Horton, Phil Horton, if you're
Mm-hmm.
familiar with him.
Yep.
And the Hendricks guy he was recruited, and then he went to like a camp. There's like a video on it, and I've seen him in the video, and now he's I think he's with the 47 team, but I think those guys are under the Hendrick banner. I think Hayek or whatever they're called now.
Yep.
They have Hendrick guys.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of teams that get Hendrick guys. I mean, Hendrick provides their own. Hayek gets theirs. Spire gets their pit crews from Hendrick. I know JRM gets theirs from Hendrick, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure there's 3 or 4 other ones that do too.
But the point, like there was the last race I was at was Martinsville with the 90 truck, Carroll, and there was a guy that I think he was the jack man. And I was like, I was talking with him because I was like doing pit support and I was taking notes. And I was talking to him. We were mostly talking about Jordan Brand shoes, but then we started talking about life. And I said, "So what are you doing now?" He's like, "I'm going home to North Carolina because he worked for the city. I can't remember what exactly he did. I don't know if he worked for Charlotte or something, but he was a city worker. And he's like, I got to be at work at 4 in the morning. I'm like, good grief, man.
Whew.
Driving from Martinsville to Charlotte, but Martinsville to Charlotte's not too far, is it?
It's an hour and a half, hour 40.
Okay, that's not bad. I had about a 4 hour drive. I live in Williamsburg, Virginia. So
Yeah,
it's
because you
about
live over by Langley.
yep, yep, right. I used
Oh
to race
yeah.
out at Langley in U cars. Like, if you ever run the mini stocks on here, pretty much
Oh
the
yeah.
same thing.
Yep. Yeah, I got to go to Langley 2 times in this last summer for the late model stuff.
Did you have fun?
Eh, eh. Langley's definitely not my favorite racetrack.
Is
Not
it
even an iRacing,
for racing
but
purposes, or you just don't like the facility, or you guys didn't have a good run?
well,
And it's okay. You can be honest. Like
Yeah,
I said, be honest.
we definitely didn't have a good run either time we went. I don't know if you've seen the video floating around after the Cars tour was there, but one of the drivers I was with decided to or got in a fight with another driver during that weekend. It wasn't really a fight, it was more of a point fingers at each other. But I'm somewhere in
Maybe.
that video.
Oh, are you?
Oh yeah, I'm there.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's funny. Nah,
So.
it was for the Hampton Heat or the Cars tour.
Nope, that was for the tour.
The Cars tour. Yeah, I don't. I think I remember. I haven't gone to a Hampton Heat or Cars tour in years because it sells out so quickly, and then it's so hot. But right now, I'm wishing it was hot because we just got hit with that snow, and I'm hating every bit of it.
Yeah, being from Michigan, like I'm like, oh, snow, cool. But at the same time, it's like I didn't move down here to freeze.
Right.
Like I was hoping to be warm.
My issue
But that
was.
Hampton Heat weekend was way too hot this year.
Oh yeah. Well, that welcome to Virginia. Um, Virginia. It's not really the heat that gets you. It's the humidity. The
Hmm.
humidity just it's killer.
Which is crazy because, like I said, coming from Michigan, like we have humidity. Like I'm not new to humidity at all, and it is that was crazy. I could not believe that.
Have, speaking of Michigan, have you ever been to the Motor Speedway out there?
Oh yeah, multiple times. Went there. I mean, my dad took me to MIS when I was 6. I think was my first time. It was a truck race out there. It was the first time I ever got to go, and then he took me again to a cup race. My first cup race when I was 8, 7 or 8, I think. So I've been there multiple times. I mean, I used to go every year from when I was 16 till just before I moved down here.
I feel like Michigan is a very underrated track. I enjoy running it on iRacing. I think the racing's good. Um, why did they call it the Irish Hills, right?
Yep.
So is it like I'm assuming that there's a lot of green, rolly hills and that part
Yes.
of
That whole area is all it's literally all agriculture.
really.
Yep.
So it like comes off as a mini Ireland or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't really know where the name came from, but I assume it's because in this like when they would go in June, it's all green. All the cornfields and the wheat fields and everything,
Hmm.
soybeans are all green. So everything you see flying in is just green.
What track are you looking forward to going to the most this year?
I am actually really I mean, Darlington's my favorite racetrack, and I think I proved that the other night in
Hmm.
that NSRLA league race, that Xfinity league. Um, but I'm really looking forward to St. Petersburg. That's a cool area to be in, and I'm excited to be there with the Indy cars, even though I'm sure we won't get to see much of them.
Uh,
But
go ahead. Sorry.
what's that? And then San Diego is going to be super cool too to be a part of.
As a military veteran, I can tell you right now, there are going to be some veterans that are going to be hating that day, active duty guys, because someone's going to have to work the gate, and all the people are going to come in, and it's not going to be fun for people working it. And then if you're off duty, let's say you're not supposed to be working the gates or whatever, they're going to have those guys like doing extra security or selling popcorn. And the only
Oh
way
yeah.
I know that is because when I was in the Air Force and I was security forces, which is base police basically. So
Yep.
you'd either be working the gate or flight line or patrol or whatever. And I was lucky enough to be at a base that didn't have an air show when I was there. Um, One of the guys was telling me about it. And he's like, "You're be lucky because if you're working the gates, it's just going to be crowded and tons of people coming in and they're lost and they don't know what to do. And then if you're not working, they're gonna call you in to like sell lemonade. I'd be
Hmm.
like, heck no, I don't want no parts of that. So as cool of an idea as the San Diego race is gonna be, it is going to suck for um, some of those Navy guys. And it's gonna be unfortunate because there's gonna be a Navy guy who's a big NASCAR fan and he can't watch it because he's stuck working.
Now I will. I don't. I'm assuming this has been announced because you can't buy tickets for it. But the truck race is military personnel only. They are not letting any fans in for that race.
That's good, but
So that's cool.
someone's still gonna have to be working that gate. So it ain't
I
gonna be fun.
agree, and it's crazy to me, right? Like, so if you're a fan, you buy this ticket, obviously you're going through a background check. But like, it's crazy to think like, how are they going to arrange parking and all of that, and getting people on base and making sure they stay in the right areas? And
So
I can't imagine the logistical nightmare behind it.
So when I was in the Air Force, I was in for 7 years. I was stationed at Eglin Air Force Base, which is down in Florida on the Panhandle between Pensacola and Panama Beach. And
Yep.
then after that, I came home to Virginia for the Virginia Air National Guard out at Langley Air Force Base. Well, I remember going on to Langley Air Force Base when I was younger for air shows, and they would typically like park people on like a part of the flight line that's like far off and not being used. So they'll have parking, and I can't tell you like the size of the naval base at San Diego, but seeing how San Diego's a large area, and I'm almost positive it's a very large base, so they'll have plenty of parking. I don't. That's not going to be an issue. It's just making sure that you don't wander off into the wrong spot. But they'll have sailors and Marines and the civilians that work the police jobs getting them where they need to be.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. Like I said, it's gonna be hectic for everyone working it. But I think from a just a viewer perspective and a racer perspective, I think it's gonna be really unique, and it's still gonna be a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah. I'm curious what they're going to do for like pit road and garage area. Have they like
I've
said what they're going to do?
I've seen drawouts of it, and I honestly don't remember like how they were doing it, but it's gonna be unique because it's tight. Like those roads in that place are not big, as I'm sure you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're
Each
not
base is
big
different.
by any means. So I don't know. I'm assuming they'll probably give us a hangar for garages because that'll be one where we practice. So we'll fly in. We might even fly in 2 days before practice, tech practice, and then race the next day because we'll have a 50-minute practice session for that one.
I I can't. I'm very curious how this race is going to go because they're going to be. I think there's part of the track that's on the flight line,
Hmm.
and a flight line's not well. So there's the main flight line where the jets land and take off, but like there's these. It's called the flight line as well. It's like where the uh, sailors or the airmen or whoever or Marines are working on the planes. It's like it's not smooth. A lot of gaps in the on the
Yeah, it's gonna be
ground.
rough
Yeah,
tarmac. It's
that's
not gonna be. It's not gonna be nice.
yeah. So I'm very curious how that's going to be. Like one wrong bump in the undercarriage of that car. Bye, goodbye, see ya. You're done.
I mean, we'll kill the splitter away before we kill anything underneath the car. At least on the truck. The cup car, good luck. They better have their pucks ready and the ride heights up a tick.
Yeah, we'll see.
But at least for us, St. Petersburg is going to be the same way. So they're going into one is off of the tarmac and off of the runway at St. Petersburg Airport. So
So
we'll be able to at least have like a little bit of data going in of
okay.
what it might feel like.
Oh, yeah. That's. So the team that I'm helping out this year, I think they're playing. I've been to Daytona as a fan. Like, so their plan is to go to Daytona. If they're competitive, then try to go to Phoenix, which hopefully I could go to. Um, and then uh, we'll see from there. But, like, this might be a year where I get to go to some tracks that I've never been to. Like, I went to Daytona as a fan where I saw Austin Dillon win the Daytona 500. Like, talk about, like, a shock to everyone in the stands. Like,
Yeah.
me and my dad were like looking at each other like, what just happened? I guess we'll just go home now. Like
That was 2015. Did he
18.
win it? In 15?
18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I say Joey won it in 15. 18. Yep. That
Yeah.
was the year after I went with my dad in 17, and Kurt Busch won it, and half the field was wrecked.
Good times, good time. I can't believe that's been 10 years ago. Well, 10 years
Don't
ago was
remind me.
Denny's, um
Yes.
but I mean, 2015, it's in the same ballpark. Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Um but I'm looking forward to. Someone was telling me like going into Daytona through the tunnel is like one of the most coolest
It's
experiences you could ever take part in.
The only thing going through the tunnel is cool at any racetrack. Daytona, it's special. I think the coolest experience as a crew guy or maybe any fan who gets the opportunity is if you get the chance to either walk through the tunnel at Bristol and
I've
come
done
out and
that.
see the inside of that racetrack, or walk down the banking in 3 at the gate.
I've done that.
That's one of the coolest,
Well,
in my opinion.
I did. Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I did both actually because I went to help out Justin Carroll last year at Bristol, and that was the day that NASCAR made me take Operation Golden Flow.
Yes, you
And
gotta
it
love
was
it.
so hot. It was so freaking hot. And I'm like, we were pushing the truck through tech. And the truck owner, which is Justin's dad, he comes up to me and he said, Casey, come here. I said, what's up? He's like, NASCAR selected you. I'm like, for what? He's like, you gotta do a urinalysis. And I'm like,
Yeah.
great. I said, I haven't been. He's like, you have to be there between, I think, 5 and 6 or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's a whole window, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, great. I said, I haven't had anything. Like, I wasn't dehydrated, but like, I wasn't drinking as much as I could. But even then, when you're doing that, like, it was so hot. August
Hmm.
in Tennessee, you're just sweating it out.
And that place radiates heat.
So I drank as much water and Gatorade as I could. I go to um take this urinalysis, and I'm like, it's just like if a doctor had seen me when I went to do this, they would have thought I was sick. It was just that hot. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, it was like it was bad.
Oh yeah.
And like there was a driver in there. I can't remember who he was. It wasn't like a regular driver. Like maybe like one of those guys he had to be like 18 or 19 years old, maybe 20. And he was like sitting there almost crying because obviously he needs to do this so he can race, and like he can't go. And
Hmm.
the guys are just like, all right, just sit over there, keep drinking water. He's like almost in tears, and I'm like, here you go. And I like walked out of there, and someone told me it's like they may select you, but they might like let's say they select 50 people, 4 might get sent off.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's I don't need to go into the I don't want to say it's deep dark secrets, but everyone talks, right? And everybody's
Hmm.
got their opinions on what they do. But I mean, I got when I first time I went to Daytona, my first time with the hard card, first time with the license, I got selected. And they say it's random, and it's like, is it really though? You take the brand new person who's never been in a NASCAR event as a staff member before, and you're gonna pull them as random. But
Speaking of
I don't
hard
know.
card, I wonder if I'm getting one. The team made me fill out some paperwork, in which I did. Um, they said it's for your license. They're like, we need this information. It's for your license. So like, cool. And I guess I'll wait till Daytona or whatever. But yeah, it'd be cool to have a hard card. That's a big
Yeah,
deal.
it's a big deal. And then you walk around like you pretend you have it, because half the time you forget to carry it with you and hope they let you back in the garage area. You just got to look important. But
Yeah, just don't get
because
it
half the
pulled. Don't
time,
get it pulled this year, Tyler.
yeah, I won't do anything to get it
Don't drop a
pulled.
sandwich off the roof and get your hard. So,
That's why they don't let me on the roof. Otherwise, I accidentally probably would.
um, what happens? Do you know what happens if you get your hard card pool? Like what?
It
What's
all
the
depends
repercussions?
on it all depends on what you do. A lot of times a lot of times what I've heard is if they pull it, usually it's because you are mouthing off to an official,
Hmm.
which deserved or not deserved, you can't do that to an official. But a lot of times they pull you in the hauler afterwards, or they'll call you on Monday and say, "Hey, you can't do this, this and that." But I mean, if it is bad enough, they will take it. Like, and you probably have to beg to get it back.
Well, like again, the example I was saying, don't drop the same. You know what I'm referring? Do you know what I'm
Yes,
referring to?
that
Yeah,
was Indy. I don't even know
I think it was
what year
Indy.
that was.
Yeah,
It was Indy. He dropped it off the Pagonia Tower.
and it's like there are worse things that you could do to get your hard card pool. I mean, someone could have knocked it off, like not you, like someone accidentally else could have knocked it off, and then you're gonna get in trouble for it. Like
Oh yeah.
that's not fair. Hey, they pulled my hard
No.
card for a sandwich that fell off, and it didn't even go towards the track. It went backwards.
But I guarantee that if I had to guess, and I wasn't there, And anybody who might be listening to this who knows anything about the industry, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I'm sure somebody was up there, not an official, who was just up there, who seen it happen, got a power trip, and went and found somebody who could do something about it, and they didn't know what to do, so they took the hard card. Because
Jeez.
that happens a lot too. Because you got to remember that these tracks will they'll hire security for the weekend.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I know.
And they love to make you wait. And they love, especially the ones trying to get, like, when you're going through the tunnel or whatever, they love to make you show your hard card. Like, they are, I mean, I'm dressed in a crew shirt with all of my guys standing there with 90 other industry members, and they make
Hey,
us
who are
pull them
you?
out in an individual line and look at them sometimes.
Do you
And they're wearing their yellow security shirt.
someone was telling me um that there are guys that work for NASCAR in security, and I'm asking this because of my profession. I work in law enforcement. Um, that they have NASCAR security guys that are like full time and they travel
They do.
to all the races. But
You ever see a crew start getting rowdy on pit road? And
yeah,
you see the guy standing in the back with the
plain
gray shirts
shirts.
on?
Yep, plain
That's
shirt.
them. Yep.
Are they armed? Do you know?
Nope. Not
No.
that I know of.
Oh, okay. I
At
heard
least,
like
at least not the ones breaking up crew and driver fights.
I can't. I think that it might have been the perfect example was the Ross Chastain uh, fight with what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Oh, is that
Noah Gregson.
Noah? Yep. Yes.
So
That's what I was thinking.
when
Yep.
Ross popped Noah, the guys that broke that up that's them.
Yeah, the gray shirts
Yeah.
that, like, if you could get a clear image, it would say security on their like left or right side. Yeah, that's them.
Yeah,
Yep.
a guy that I know that works for a cup team, um, he's when I found out that I could work in NASCAR like volunteer and help teams out when I went to Richmond one year with my now wife. We were waiting in the back where the drivers come out from their motorhomes, and I was waiting for Denny. I'm a big Denny fan, and this lady came out and started talking. Well, I'm very introverted until I get to know somebody. My wife, however, can, she'll make friends with anybody. She can talk to anybody. Kind of like my mom. She's the same way. Well, she gets talking to this lady, and the lady's like, "You guys want VIP passes?" And I heard her say it the first time, but I'm like, I didn't want to sound like a crazy fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I just waited. She's like, my wife looked at me, and she's like, "Casey, did you hear?" I'm like, "You said VIP?" And she's like, "Yeah, you want VIP passes?" And we were like, "Well, sure." Well, this was the wife for this lady was named Miss Davis. Her husband was Johnny Davis of JD Motorsports.
Yep.
And we got the VIP pass. She's like, "Go have fun." And then if you want, you can come and sit with us in the pits. So my wife and I went and had a grand old time. And then we went and watched the Xfinity race in the stands. And near the end, like 75 laps ago, we went in the pits and we talked to Miss Davis. And after the race is over, I was like, "This was so cool." I was like, I looked at my wife. I said, "I'm going to ask him if I can volunteer." And she's like, "Don't do that. Don't do that. It probably won't take you." And I'm like, she's not like a half empty type of woman. She just was like protecting me. She's like, "I don't want you to get your feelings hurt if they don't want you." I'm like, "I want to ask. I'll never know." And I said, "Can I volunteer for you guys?" And she was like, "Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers." And that's got what kind of, avalanched my, way into NASCAR. And I never knew that I could do that. It's incredible.
Yep. Yeah, especially those smaller teams like him and a lot of the small ARCA teams you can. Yeah, it's actually crazy. It's one of them. It's like once you're in, you're in.
Yeah,
and the
it's
hardest
crazy.
part is getting in because the industry and racing in general is so small. I mean, you can go talk to somebody at your local short track and one of them drivers and be like, "Yeah," they'll tell you that they know so-and-so in NASCAR or they know so-and-so in IndyCar or they raced against this guy who came here back in the day when he was working his way up. Like I used to, before I moved down here, we housed Eric Jones's super late model in our shop with our pro late models, and I helped build two of his supers and went to Owasso Speedway with him for a race.
Um, one of the guys that races with us, Gino Volante, um, he's worked in the NASCAR industry. And I became friends on Facebook, and when we became friends, I saw a bunch of mutual friends that we got a ton of them. It had to be like 25 plus mutual friends, and they were all racing people, like from local short tracks to people in NASCAR now. I was like, good grief. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a guy that's been up in it. Um, uh, After I had asked, like, I asked Miss Davis if I could volunteer. I like called her a few weeks later. I said, "Hey, I'm off for this Darlington race. You guys are racing in it. Can I come up and volunteer?" And she's like, "I can't get you in as a volunteer, but she's like, come on down and be our guest and just hang out with us." So I drove 5 hours from Virginia to Darlington, and I hung out with them, and we're watching the race and whatnot. And she's like, "Come here." Race had started, and I was in the four pit box. I'm drawing blank of who drove that car.
It depends on
Um,
how long ago it was.
Last year, just last year. He
Oh, it
drives
was like,
this. No, excuse me, 2 years ago. He drives the 74 now. It was in 2024. 2024. He'll drive the 24 sometime. I am drawing complete blank on
yeah.
this. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh, was it Dawson Cram?
Yes, Dawson Cram.
There you go.
So Miss Davis comes up to me and she's like, "Come here." She's like, "You're gonna get in the game." I'm like, "Okay." She had me hold the sign for pit stops,
Oh, there you go.
and so I'm
That
out
was
there.
totally not allowed, but good for you.
Yeah, no one cared. I'm like, can I do this? They're like, "Yeah." I'm like in jeans.
Oh, yeah. So anyone not going over the wall does not have to wear fire protection.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Or
just
anyone not handling the wall.
I'm behind the wall.
But you are, as a guest, you are not supposed to cross the yellow line unless you are on top of the pit box.
Yeah, and no one seemed to care, and that team doesn't exist anymore, so it's
Yeah,
all
that'll be
good.
okay.
It's fine.
I've seen a fair share of things that were not allowed that definitely have happened on
So
pit road down there.
the last time I was in a fire suit helping a team out was I had my own fire suit, and it was at Martinsville last year or 2 years ago. It might have been 2024. Gosh, I'm becoming so forgetful. But one of the guys after the race, like a few days later, one of the guys on the team's like, "Hey, what's your fire suit rated?" And I told him, he's like, "Yeah, you can't use that. It's got to be X, Y, and Z." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "If one of the officials caught that, we'd get in trouble." But I was
Oh
like
yeah.
standing right there next to an official, like talking to him, and he didn't say a word.
Yeah. It depends on the season, if they've had issues with it, and if they feel like being a pain that day, or
Well,
if you've made them mad.
I
That's another thing too that you don't see in the garage area. If you, as an individual, make an official mad, he can make your life a living hell.
Well, I would chalk it up to being like it was November, like 2 races left in the season. I don't think they were too high strung, and it's a lower rated team. So I would imagine like stuff like that. They're not. I'm not saying bend the rules. I'm not saying break the rules, but like I could understand where some people might just be like put their blinders on, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially for some of them lower teams, I can see
Yeah.
it too.
But I was
But
like,
the
"Oh,
high
I'm so
profile teams,
sorry."
they don't get that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to make an official match because I've helped push the truck through tech. Um, some of those officials just look like jerks.
Oh yeah, yeah. The one who does the interiors is a real good time. I'm real excited to deal with him this year.
Lord have
But
mercy.
I'm just gonna be friendly with him, and we'll be friends.
I think one of the officials was a former NASCAR, David Green. I remember pushing the car through the truck
I
through
wasn't
tech.
gonna name drop, but
Oh, is this who you're talking about?
baby.
You know, it's funny. Now that I think about it, I think they were talking about that day at Martinsville. He was looking at like the seat's headrest or something. I can't remember. He was for that time. He wouldn't talk to me personally, but like from what I saw, he wasn't being a pain in the butt.
He likes to interpret the rule book in his own way and put things in it that aren't there.
You know,
So
I think
yeah,
if being he's a former driver, so he was there. You know, I feel like there might be a little bit of ego there or something.
there's ego everywhere in the racing industry.
Oh, I believe
It's
it. I
that's
believe it.
it's
But he was
yeah,
a driver, so you got to feel like it's probably
right. And
more.
I get it. He's looking at safety stuff and all that, so I understand. But the rule book is the rule book, right? If I follow the rule book to a T, it should be okay, right? I shouldn't have to do
You
three
would
extra
hope.
steps.
You would hope.
You would think. But I get what he's doing. Like I said, when I actually will meet him for the first time, I will shake his hand, be friends with them, and do whatever he asks
Yeah,
within reason.
if it makes you mad, just cuss him under your breath like 50 feet away, and then it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
just let him go, right?
But
It'll be all right.
back to Darlington, when I was helping out, like I got, it was a total surprise that I held the sign. But like the one of the crew guys was like, "Have you ever done this before?" And he's being a jerk. He was being a complete jerk, and I'm like, "No." He's like, "All right, just be quick and don't hit the wall." And I'm like, "All right." And the the flag, I want to say flag, the pole was kind of heavy. It was like long. It was super long as they are, but the material that was being used, like you have some that are collapsible. Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
had one of those?
Maybe. Yeah. I
That's
don't know.
not bad.
I've never lifted. I've never ran the sign. I always was catching fuel cans.
I've done that too. And that was so
That's fun.
catching the fuel cans. I've done that twice, and I'll get the first time was the Martinsville when I had the fire suit that wasn't what I wasn't supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
But like no one cared except that one guy after the fact, and he's just looking out for the team. And the second time I'll get to that later. But like that JD Motorsports, that their sign was just like it was long and wobbly, and it was like hard. I'm not weak, but it was hard. And
Mm-hmm.
the first pit stop, the guy that was a jerk, he's like, "Don't hit the wall." And what did I do? I hit the wall.
Smack the
Pulled the
heck out of the wall.
yeah, and he was like a jerk to me, and I'm like I'm a pretty well-tempered guy, but like I can run my mouth just as easily as that guy can. But I was a guest of Miss Davis, and I'm like, I'm not trying to, show my ass here. Um, so I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And the guy's like, he insulted me without being like rude this time. Uh, he's like, you're new. I don't expect you to be good. I'm like, well, dang. And then the second time I did okay, and the third time I did okay. Um, but the guy was just a complete jerk. But it was so fun. Here I am, and I'm like thinking this is gonna be real weird because I'm in a t-shirt. They're black and red. I was in a blue t-shirt and like slim jeans,
Mm-hmm.
and I like so out of place. But it was fun.
Oh, it's pit stops are fun. Once you do one for the first time, it's like, wow, that's actually probably the coolest part of the whole experience.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this ARCA going over the wall for that, and hopefully, I know they're controlled pit stops. They pause, pretty much pause, and what is it, 8 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
Like I just have to like there. I'm gonna have to work my craft and try to get better. And like I said, the team owner for this ARCA team, it's the driver's dad, and he's like, I know people in the industry, and I told him, I said, like, I understand it's competitive, and I may never get to do this. So if I could ever get an opportunity with a truck team that's like they're gonna finish 33rd out of 35 or six, and it's like an opportunity, and they need people, like I said, give me an opportunity. And he's like, we'll see. Like he seemed pretty positive about it. But so back to the fuel catching. I went to help out. Who is Dang it! Now I'm going to draw a blank on this guy's name. Hillenberg. I helped out Hillenberg at Dover for ARCA. I caught
Mm-hmm.
fuels. I did fuel can, not catching, but I handed it off.
Mm-hmm.
We did it at Dover. Dover's a dump. The infield
Is
that
it?
oh my gosh, I was like, this is
That
ugh.
I'll get to go there for the. I'm in a little bit excited to go there just because I've never been, but I'll get to go there for the first time this year. But that's kind of funny, actually.
Like you see some racetracks, like they look scenic, like Daytona, obviously, like it's so massive in there, and Talladega is massive, and like Indianapolis, Indianapolis is so big. Like like some of those tracks, you could get like robbed
Yeah.
up
Oh
in
yeah.
there. Um, Pocono looks like you could just like get lost up in there too, but like Dover, it just looks like almost like a fairground dump. It's
That's how I
weird.
felt at Langley.
Oh, you did?
A little bit. I don't know. Like I said, we didn't run good there, and I suck at Langley and iRacing. I will spin that car, no matter what car I'm in, I will spin that thing out after 8 laps. I cannot maintain a run there to save my life.
Yeah, we all spin out. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm consistent. Like you can bet money on about lap 8 or 9 that I'm going around, unless I'm like really trying to pace myself.
I run well, not so much now. For whatever reason, the Legends cars that they did an update on those Legends cars, and I can't run those Legends cars to save my life. The old Legend cars on iRacing before they did an update, I was fine in. Now these new ones, it's like driving on the
About
left rear
back
and
in
right
like
front.
2021, 2022 legend car setups back then. Oh, they were so good.
You've been on iRacing for a while.
Yeah, I've been since 21.
Okay, yeah, I joined in 2023. It's coming up on
Okay.
3 years.
I think they were about the same then. But you would in the rookie class they were open. So like my dad's a big iRacer. He actually got me like kind of pushed me to do it more.
Really?
He would get setups for rookie legends. And man, you put me in one of them, the old style setups, like the way that the tracks were and the grip levels were with one of them setups. Oh my goodness. I was hard to beat.
Legends
And
racing is
that's not
so
saying a lot.
it's fun to watch, man. Like they are like I remember at Langley in 2010. I should have went to this race, but I was working that night. Um, and they had like the nationals come to Langley, so it was
Mm-hmm.
nothing but Legends cars racing. Like 30 races for kids, 30 races for intermediates, and like 30 races. Like apparently it went on to like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like they had all of these cars, Legends racing. I'm like, man, I wish I would have went to that. They're fun to watch,
Well,
especially if it's like a close race.
yeah, Langley is a decent track for that too because at least early before the tires get hot, you can get that car up on the top and let it rip. And depending on the temperature of the track, like if it's at night, you could probably race too wide there for an entire 30 lap stint in the legend car.
The only thing that's, in my opinion, which I imagine a lot of people might think this as well, that's bad about running Legends cars is if that throttle hangs and you plow that sucker into a wall, it is not going to be good.
I mean, a throttle hanging in any car isn't good. I watched it firsthand in one of our cars, and it was not a pretty sight.
Well, I agree. None of them. You're absolutely right. None of them are good. But those Legends cars, being how small they are,
Oh yeah, for sure.
that's the point
Yeah,
I'm
that would
making.
hurt.
They're all it would hurt no matter what car you're in. But just the speeds those Legend cars get up to, and just how small they are, that's just that's bad day.
Tell you what, you ever seen one of them Allison Legacy cars?
Mm-mm.
They run them around here. Like they'll run them at Hickory. They are like a 3/4 size. They're smaller than a mini stock. And they got
Allison
these
Legend Legend.
They're called Allison Legacy cars, and they are smaller than a mini stock, and they look painful to crash.
Allison Legacy cars. Let me see. I look this up.
Yeah, they're like an oversized go-kart with shocks. They're basically an adult quarter mile.
It's almost like I don't know if you remember this. They had it in Michigan, arena racing.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I just know those as arena cars because they here in Virginia they raced them at the Hampton Coliseum.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
they raced those at Hickory.
yeah, those look like fun. Yeah, you wrecked those. That's bad.
Yeah, especially at a track like Hickory where they're just holding it wide open.
Yeah. Oh man. So we've talked a lot about racing. And before I get into you, Legend Cars, have you seen that new series on YouTube, Race for Ram?
Yeah, I've been watching it a little bit.
I just watched the first episode today. Really cool and really gutsy of Taylor Reif to call out Chris Rice.
I mean, he was
He
correct.
was correct. I'm just like, oh man, this can't end up well. But like, he ended up winning. He ended up proving him. He's like, I told you so. Um, but it's
It
like,
would have been more impressive if he was in one of the not good cars and drove it to the front.
yeah. Do you have anybody
I
you
mean,
want to see win it all?
I don't know. I've heard rumors about the show, so I don't know if I need to commentate about it because I've heard some things. So me watching it, I already felt it was skewed, but
You think
that's
it's
just me.
scripted?
Possibly.
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
And I don't want to ruin it for anyone out there.
yeah,
So
fair enough.
I
Fair point.
shouldn't say too much, but and of course, I'll tell everyone in the world this, being an insider of the racing industry, and you could probably attest to this a little bit. I got told a piece of advice, and it's been the greatest piece of advice since I heard it. It was listen to none of what you hear and only half of what you see.
I've never heard that one, like, but that's good advice. I totally get where you're coming from. Um, in my experience helping out teams, there was this one guy. I'm not going to give his name, because I think I'd probably get it wrong. But like, I was talking to him. I'm like, so where are you from? Yada yada yada. I was helping him out. I was like, tell me what you need me to do. I'll do what I'll just follow your instructions. And he's like, do this. So I was doing that, and we were just talking. I said, how long you been doing this? And he's like, um, however long. That doesn't matter. But I said, it must be cool being around. I was like trying to be real optimistic, like a glass half full type of guy. And this guy was polar opposite. He was like glass half empty type of guy. Everything I would say positive, he would respond with something negative. And I'm thinking to myself, are you just like a natural born loser? Like,
Yeah.
everything I'm
Yeah.
saying, you're finding something negative. And like said something about Dale Jr. And he said something to me that I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, you gotta be lying through your teeth. You just gotta be making something up. And I was like, all right, okay. I just like stopped talking to him then, um, because like everything he said was negative, and then like just insulted like one of the best people, like the greatest ambassador for NASCAR ever, and you're just like over here insulting him like he's some scumbag. I don't know Dale Jr. personally, but like I don't want to know NASCAR without him.
No, for sure not. And we actually got the opportunity to race Dale Cars Tour a couple times, and like I got to go shake his hand before standing there on the grid, and he's standing right next to us, and say good luck and whatever. He's a really really cool guy
I figured.
to just kind of BS with when you're standing there because you're just standing there in a group, and he's cool.
He's a great ambassador for the sport. Now, if you ask my dad how he is as a race car driver, or if you ask my dad, my dad's been a long time fan. He's a long time Dale Senior fan, but like my dad's an interesting person when it comes to NASCAR. He hates like 98% of NASCAR. He like driver wise, like
If you're talking Dale Jr. talent wise, I think he was good. I think Dale Jr. is one of your first examples of a kid in the lower series getting brought up too quick.
yeah. Well, it's funny. My dad would be like I told you before, like I'm a Denny Hamlin fan, but my dad does not like Denny Hamlin. He's like, Denny's a whiny bleep, bleep, bleep. But when Denny Hamlin wins, he's like, I like it when Denny Hamlin wins. And I'm like, you said my driver's whiny, but yet you say you like it when he wins. He's like, yeah, he's whiny, but like the guy can race. He's like, he can win at super speedways, he can win on short tracks, he can win on intermediates, and he's won on a road course once. So he can do it all. And then he said something about Joey Logano. He's like, I like it when Joey Logano wins, whereas a lot of people might not. And I'm like, well, why is that? He's like, because he's a professional. And I'm like, okay, I see your point. Like, any one of us would get upset if like we got wrecked, and like to give you an example, like Richmond, where Joey got taken out by Austin, and then the
Yo,
interview he gave post race, I was there. I saw Denny like half an inch from winning it until he got hooked. Um, and Joey went and had this kind of a temper tantrum interview, but like it's justified a
it's
little bit.
justified.
So
What gets me with veteran drivers is when they whine about rookies driving too aggressively. When they were rookies, they had veterans whining about them. Joey Logano was whined about by Tony Stewart, multiple others. So was Denny Hamlin. And then these guys come on as veterans and complain about the rookies, like Carson Hocevar and a few others. That's what bothers me with veteran drivers getting on in interviews and whining about things, because they used to be the same way.
Yeah, with Denny, a lot of people say he whines when, like, let's say, driver X drives him into the fence, and then Denny Hamlin does the same thing next week to a certain driver, and he goes on to win the race. And like, he's a hypocrite, but like, it would be, we can Monday morning quarterback all we want, but like, if we were in their shoes, I would be like, I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing. I'd drive somebody in the fence to win a race. I wouldn't like intentionally hook them, but I'd move them. I
Yeah.
can't say that if there's a a fan out there who says they wouldn't do that, then you would not be a good racer. Like, they would move you in a heartbeat.
No, and I mean, not to condemn NASCAR fans, but they don't always realize too that sometimes, like at certain tracks, you got to take the room away to make passes. Darlington, you have to take that room away if you're on the inside, both ends of the racetrack.
It's like that time
Yeah.
Denny ran Ross in the fence at Pocono. He's like, well, he's got brakes.
Yeah, he had that coming, and yeah, but Ross is very good at making you choose: are we gonna wreck or are you gonna lift here?
Yeah.
And
Talk about
so
a guy who's
Denny's
mellowed it
racing
down.
guys who race him. He races guys how they race him a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean,
He'll do the same thing to Kyle Larson,
it's just
because Kyle
racing.
Larson does that to everyone.
It's just racing. I like Carl. As much as I'm heartbroken after November, which that might haunt me till the day I die as a Denny
Oh,
fan. But like, I like Larson a lot. But like, I wish Larson was a little bit more aggressive, like moving people.
he doesn't need to be. I think he's that good.
He is great, but um, I have a friend that like doesn't like Larson whatsoever, and he's like, yeah, Larson's like a little girl. He won't move anybody. He's not aggressive. And then, when Bubba Wallace attacked him, where were they at Michigan? They got into that
No, that
fight.
was Vegas.
Vegas, okay.
Yep, I believe
uh,
it was Vegas.
yeah. He just kind of he's like, that's like the first fight I've ever been in. It wasn't much of a fight. You didn't do much.
No. But
Um,
some of your best drivers don't need to be aggressive like that. They just know they're gonna either win you over eventually, or they're just not faster than you at that time. Ryan Blaney is a very good example of that.
um, I was mentioning Ross earlier and how he was kind of like a loose cannon, but that guy has like turned it around. Did Mr. Hendrick like scare him or something?
And I mean, that's the joke, right? Like that Mr. H got on him that they can't be doing that, he can't be running like that. And I don't know. I miss the old Ross. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining.
Shoot, as a fan, I'm all for boys have at it. Drivers have at it. I want
Oh,
to
for
see
sure.
bumping and banging. I want to see like post race fights and arguments and tempers and whatnot. And we
As
were,
long as we're not putting people in danger.
oh yeah, no, don't,
You know, we
don't.
can't be we can't be running to each other down pit road and all that. And I'm not a huge fan of getting race cars destroyed anymore
Well, I
since
bet.
I work on them. But I mean, everyone loves a good wreck every now and then, right?
I have different hats. As a crew member, I understand, but as a fan, you know,
Yeah,
you
I
want to
mean, I
see.
can wear that hat on Fridays and Saturdays when we're racing. I hope stuff don't get destroyed. But the Cup race, boys have at it.
Yeah.
I'll sit on my couch and watch it.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about race. I mean, we've gone on an hour plus about racing, but let's talk about you. Let's talk about Tyler Gebben, the person outside of racing. Like, what's your story? Like, growing up, what was your life like? Did you play sports? Do you have any siblings? What was life like for you in Michigan?
Oh, well, the cool thing with Michigan is you have multiple seasons. I grew up playing. I mean, I tried all the sports as a kid except for like football, but I was not really good at them. My one sport in high school I just played golf.
Okay,
Um,
that's fun.
but my primary focus was my parents wouldn't get me a go kart because my dad, well, he claimed he didn't know how to work on them, but we would have figured it out. But instead, they handed me a snowboard. And my dad was a big skier, then got into snowboarding and wanted me to get into it, so I did, and I kind of took off and went running with that. So I spent a lot of my teen years in my early 20s snowboarding, and then had a big boat family too. My dad, my grandpa bought and sold boats, so I was around the lake. And being in Michigan, I mean, there's water everywhere. So wakeboarding became a big thing. So I actually traveled around for quite a while after I graduated high school, competitively snowboarding and wakeboarding.
Okay. Um, yeah, I understand where you're coming from on your parents not buying a go-kart. Mine didn't
Yeah,
either. When I
I
raced out at
tried.
when I raced out at Langley, I bought this car myself, and I got people to give me money for sponsorship, and my dad was really against it. Because he's like, is the investment like, let's be real. If you win a race today, like you gotta be rich. Not you don't have
Oh
to
yeah.
be, but it helps because you're either a rich family who can afford it, or you're gonna be broke.
Oh yeah. I
Eh,
mean, I've watched working helping on pro late models at Berlin. I've watched so many people come up for their two big races from down here with just ridiculous amounts of money.
It's
I mean,
insane. Like
parents
full
with their
trailers.
kids. Oh yeah, Wilson Motorsports used to show up with 4 trailers with 4 different cars in it with kids ready to go.
Wilson. Which one is that? Oh no, I'm thinking of Nelson, like Bobby Nelson. That was the 20. He was the 22 car, wasn't he?
Uh Yes.
Which one was
Yes.
Wilson?
Bobby Nelson. Wilson was in the supers. They run like the 24, the 22.
Okay, okay.
Cole Butcher ran for them last
I
year and did a phenomenal job.
I love super late model racing like on iRacing and when I can watch highlights, but there's not a there supers don't come to Langley, so I don't see a lot of them. So I
They
couldn't
should. That actually would probably be a good race because you'd really have to manage.
super they're the bigger like out of the there's three there's supers, there's late models, and then there's pro late models. Super's the big boys of the three, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. So supers is like your, I don't want to say open engine because they still have engine restrictions and some things like that. But both your late model stocks or your late models and your pro late models are crate engines. One's just a more built crate engine, the other one. But the late model stock is more like your trucker Xfinity car, where your pro late model is the exact same thing as a super, just with a crate engine.
Gotcha. Um, I got a little off topic. And that happens every podcast. I just like we get to talking and talking and talking, and I'm like, well, like let me back up a few exits here.
Yeah.
My dad was like very against me racing at Langley, and then when he saw me doing it, he was like, oh, this is cool, but he was like, I'm happy for you, I'm proud of you. Here's $100. That went towards my racing, and my dad's not poor. He's pretty well off. Um, I got $100 from dad. So I put a sticker on my car that said thanks mom and dad and a few others.
Yes. I wish more kids would do that because it just, I don't know, I think it's a feel good kind of moment where it's like, I think the kid actually appreciates it.
I had an uncle, his name's Gary, and we just call him Uncle Gary, and he gave me $500. So I just made a sticker for the back of the car that said Uncle Gary. And my dad's like, you can't see a single sticker on his car, but you sure as heck can see that Uncle Gary sticker. So it's real funny. The division, the U cars was like the second to lowest tier, like in terms of like it's like poor man racing out
Hmm.
at Langley. But it's a lot of fun. I wish I had lots of money so I could keep doing it, but like chasing this ARCA, tire changing things actually been a whole lot more fun, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've never driven a race car. I've done some go-kart stuff in the past couple years, but working on them is so much fun. It's a whole different aspect and just a whole different feeling where like you're in the pits and you can show up and you can bust your butt all day and you can do everything in your power to make that car perfect. But once that thing goes out on the racetrack and your hands aren't on it anymore, and you can just watch lap times on your phone and listen on the radio and just kind of give advice where the driver needs it, I mean, it's all out of your hands. You're just a spectator at that point. There's nothing you can do, and it's a real unique feeling.
What was the driving force motivation for you to move from Michigan to North Carolina to pursue this dream? Michigan to North Carolina is a pretty big jump. So, like, what started all that?
What really started it was the so in my when I was about 24 or 25, I was still pursuing board sports pretty heavily. Um, I came to the realization that there's really no money in pro wakeboarding, which is really the direction I was headed. Unless you're like just really good, a lot of it is kind of like racing, where the parents have a lot of money and the kids just get to go out and party and ride every day.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but it was something of I don't know if I just want to do a normal job, which sounds I don't want to say it sounds bad, but like I had always been a fan of racing my whole life, and it always seemed like even working in it seemed like something so out of reach to go do. And then I was listening to I believe it was Door Bumper Clear, that podcast, and they had on a guy from Stuart Haas on an episode, and he was like, if you want to get in this, he goes, just start volunteering at your local short track. And then Denny started his podcast, and Denny got on and said the same thing. He said, if you want to work for 2311, just start here. And, we may not consider you like right away, fresh off of a short track, volunteer venture, but you'll get there. And that's kind of what kickstarted it. So I had a family friend who had a limited late model at Berlin Speedway. And I contacted him and said, hey, let me come work on your race car with you. I said, I was a general mechanic, so I knew some things about cars, but nothing about a race car besides what I had learned on TV from listening to Larry McReynolds and all that back in the day in the broadcast. So I came out and just started picking away on it. I think I did 2 weekends with them, and I asked if I could get into the shop and come help. And he said, yeah, I usually work on it once a week. Once I was in the shop, they had that limited, and then another driver in there had a pro car or a super, as they call them at Berlin. And I started working on that. So now I was working on 2 cars, and that's really how it started for me. And then I just decided that I'm gonna up and move. And I moved to North Carolina with no job lined up. I had some money in my savings, but not much, and a volunteer position on my resume. And I just walked into every race shop till one gave me a job, and that just happened to be Brett Holmes Racing.
That's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you. And now that you're on a team full time, about to do a full season, I'm happy for you and I'm rooting for you. And well, our paths might cross at Daytona. I know you'll probably be busy, but I think we're the team that we're supposed to drive that week. We're supposed to drive down Wednesday, so I'm sure
We'll
we're
fly out Thursday morning,
okay.
I believe. Yeah, because we got to practice. We'll practice Thursday
Yeah,
in between, because y'all have a big practice session Thursday, I'm sure.
yeah. They was talking with the team. And I say team, it was me and the car owner and the other guy that I got in contact with that got me on the team. That's going to be there. And we were talking about it. He's like, "We'll probably do this," and he's like, "It's hit the ground running type of either on Thursday or Friday. I can't remember." And he's like, "On Friday we'll probably watch the truck race, and then we'll go racing Saturday."
Mm-hmm.
Saturday is all gonna come true. The second I go over that wall, I'll have accomplished part one of a goal that I set out to do, and then part two will be trucks. But I'll cross that bridge if it ever appears and whatnot. But whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I want to get into iRacing. We're gonna get into your league race and then iRacing in general. But before that, we were talking about Kyle Larson earlier, and everybody credits him to being a great driver because he is. He does really well in pretty much everything he does. I saw this video, and it was Max Verstappen. As we all know, is an outstanding racer. There's no denying that. But with Formula One, sometimes I think where at NASCAR you have to have a good driver. Formula One, it's like you have good drivers, but it's also a good car. And they're asking him, would you ever race in this series, that series? They said, would you race in NASCAR? And he said, no. They said, not even the road courses? And he's like, no. What's your personal opinion on that? Do you think it's because he's afraid that he would not do well? Or do you think he thinks it's not a challenge for him?
He doesn't know how to take his hand off the wheel to shift gears.
You think that's it? because they're paddle shifted.
No, I'm talking shit.
Uh,
But I don't know. I think I would say he's very smart, and a number of IndyCar Formula One drivers have come over and run NASCAR and have gotten their teeth kicked in.
yep.
You know, Franchitti did it. Sam Hornish did it. I mean, and they
Montoya.
were very, very. Montoya did it. Montoya is really the only successful one who's come over and done it. Um, but he also had disciplines of many other racing types. The same thing you see that with SVG, but SVG's case, those Australian V8 supercars are, I don't want to say they're identical to Cup cars, but they are scary close.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
some similarities. I mean, it's not open wheels; it's an enclosed car. So I imagine that the only things he's
so
doing differently is shifting with a different hand.
right, you got to remember that those kids over in Europe, their path into racing is go karts,
Right.
and once you have that path, I mean, your path is Formula One. And if you in one of those branches off, if you don't make it to Formula One, there's sports car, there's other things in there, right? But everything is derived to point towards Formula One.
Yeah.
Um,
Any
so
racer.
he probably doesn't have much experience in a lot of other things. I know that he's talked about wanting to run endurance racing, and he probably does run some sports car stuff and other things like that. But I mean, the guy's probably never been in a car that weighs over 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, I would like to. I'm a fan in F1. I'm a Charles Leclerc fan. I don't think he'd ever step into it, but I would like to see guys in F1 today like Max Verstappen or maybe Lewis Hamilton. But I think the window for Lewis is probably closed. But you never know.
I
Um,
mean, you ever see the video of Lewis Hamilton driving Tony Stewart's car
I
on Watkins
have,
Glen?
I have, and they asked him. They're like, you could do road courses in NASCAR. He's like, oh, you never know, you never know. I think he just turned 40, but I think it'd be cool to see, but I don't know if he'd be competitive. But yeah, I'm very curious what it'd be like for Max in NASCAR,
Yeah,
especially on
I
ovals.
don't know. On ovals, he would get his teeth kicked in. I'm sorry. There's no way. I mean, look at SVG. Shows up to a street course, and I get every part of that aspect was in his wheelhouse, but look at the first time he stepped on an oval.
I think
Right.
he could be one of the guys that comes over into NASCAR and that's capable of winning road courses. I think he could be the guy that wins on an oval. I think time will tell. I hope he
Yeah.
does.
Oh,
I
he
have nothing
will.
against
I think he is
SVG.
a very smart, very. And I mean, Denny's gone on his podcast and says it. He goes, if SVG figures out ovals, everyone is in trouble.
True. Yeah.
But I think everyone's going to be in trouble with Connor Zillage before they're in trouble with SVG.
Yeah, time will tell. Speaking of did you watch the 24 Hours of Daytona?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that hypercar Cadillac that he was in. Oh man, I was hoping they passed that poor slate. That thing was humming. The engine of that thing, it
Yeah.
sounded so good.
Those Penske cars were way too good. That whole race. I mean, they ran a perfect race.
And they had the Cadillac. I don't even know who it was. I just know it was Cadillac. Had a chance to get by him, and that Penske, that Brazilian driver Nasser, just blocked
Mass,
him. Just
he's good.
Felipe Nasser, whatever his name, blocked him.
Yes,
Um,
he did block. That was aggressive. I will say that. I'm actually surprised that didn't draw a little more attention on penalty wise.
yeah, I mean, like I said, though, I wear both hats. Like I can understand it. Like from a fan, I'm like, hey, but from a driver's point of view, I'm like, hey, you're going for the 24 Hours of Daytona. Like, are you just gonna like let someone drive by you? No way.
Yeah. And in that corner, if you really look at that corner, where's the limit to what's racing room in that corner? Because there's about 5 different lines you can take into that corner.
Well, according to the race officials, what he did was fine. They didn't have no
Yep.
issue with it. So, but
Yep.
they did a close up of that Cadillac that Zilich's team was in, and it just went, engine humming, and I'm
He
like,
did
man,
have
that
a
thing
very
sounds
good
so
noise to it.
good. Oh my gosh, it sounded so good. Mm.
It'll be unique to see what Cadillac does in F1 with their engine program, because obviously I don't think they can run the V8 in a V8 in IndyCar F1.
We'll see. Seeing Red Bull and Ford is gonna be different because now they got
That
a
is,
Ford logo
yeah,
on their fire
yeah.
suits.
And Ford's gonna have a hypercar for endurance racing next year.
Ford. Mm. Who's your driver in NASCAR? Like as a fan, who do you pull for? or are
I
you limited now that you're? It's an interesting question. Can guys that work in NASCAR for teams still be fans of drivers? I know that might sound like a silly question,
I mean,
but
yeah, they totally can be. I think your perspective of it changes once you're in it, right? Um, and I don't know, because like I can still sit down on Sundays and watch the Cup Series as a fan, and I'm a big Team Penske guy,
okay.
so I still can sit down and see it. But even now, I've noticed being in the industry that like my like pumped upness when they win or they're doing good is toned down quite a bit.
Being in the industry, and I guess I can kind of say this too. Well, there's two parts to this question. Being like at the races, it's interesting seeing guys like Jeff Hammond and Ron Hornaday Jr. in the infield at like Martinsville. And they're just
Mm-hmm.
walking around like normal people.
Yep. Yeah, and it's crazy. The first time I met Jeff Hammond, he was working with Spencer Boyd. So that's when I was working at Brett's, and I actually had no idea he was back crew chiefing or whatever he was doing. But
Spen-
yeah, it's crazy to look at that like that. Yeah.
I can't. I don't know if is Spencer Boyd still running.
Yep, he's got that 76
Yeah.
car
Okay.
or the
Yeah.
76 truck.
He was helping that 76 truck out. Yeah. I think that 76 truck ran in 2024. This cool Michael Waltrip looking beer car that looked so cool. And I think that's the first time I saw Jeff Hammond in person. He looks like a retired wrestler in
He
the
does.
WWE.
He really
He looks
does.
all buff and tanned up. Um, and then Ron Hornaday walks around smoking his little vape pen. Um,
Yep.
and it looks like he's like riding motorcycles back home. They both got hit hard with age.
Oh yeah, it's like they stepped out of the car and like gained 20
Yep.
years.
Yeah, yeah. But they just walk around like normal people. Um,
They do. Yep.
so I don't know if you can answer this, like just from a professional standpoint. But if you can, cool. If not, it's no big deal. But like, who in the industry that you've seen, like maybe that's a big name, not necessarily drivers, but like think of the industry as a whole: crew chief, owners, presidents, CEOs, announcers, like that you've come across that's really nice and not really nice.
I think all of them, I'll put it this way, all of them have their own ego. And it all depends on at the moment you meet them or come across them and what they're dealing with. Because I've met some, and crew chiefs especially, like they have a lot of egos, but they also have a lot of knowledge. But I think it all depends on when you cross them. I think everybody's really nice in the industry. There's a lot of guys willing to help you out, especially crew chiefs. Um, Mike Shiplet, who was Cole Custer's crew chief, who was Brett's crew chief, met me at the door at Brett Holmes Racing and took my resume. And within 10 seconds, asked me if I could come back an hour for an interview. So, like, there's a lot of those people in the industry that are cool. I don't really think there's anyone necessarily bad in the industry. It just depends on when you run into them and how their ego is that day.
I this is coming from as a fan point of view, and this two parts of this. One's going to sound very biased, and then one's going to just be like no bias whatsoever. Um, the times I met Denny, he loves his fans. I don't care how
Mm-hmm.
people think of him as a driver. If you want his autograph, he'll sign for you.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the fans. My wife and I got married last March, and there's our photo of us now, Mr. and Mrs. Bristow for the first time, yada yada yada. And we're walking down the aisle, and I'm like waving, and I had this in mind. I was gonna act like I was a driver being announced, so I waved. Um, and she's smiling. Well, my wife did like some Photoshop editing, and she put Denny Hamlin behind us with his arms in the air, and we put that on poster board and said "Just married, go Denny," and he saw it and he laughed and he took a photo of it with his phone.
Nice.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
yeah, Denny's really nice. But one person I found that was like polar opposite of like what you see on TV was Bobby Labonte. Saw him at Richmond the year I got those VIP passes from Johnny Davis Motorsports. Um, and I was like, "Oh, Mr. Labonte, can I get a photo with you and autograph or whatever?" And like only person I really want is Denny's autograph. Like other drivers, sure, maybe, but like I was in the infield, so I just kind of took advantage of it. I was like, well, I guess I'll have him sign this hat. Bobby's like nice on TV, but in person it was like intimidating.
Yeah, he actually was at Berlin. I went back up last year to do a race, and he was there with Max Reeves.
Yeah, he's like
And yeah,
his mentor.
he is a very intimidating person to
What
see.
he's not like built or muscular, but he's like not approachable. You want
I agree. And
it's
yes.
like how they and maybe that's how he does it to keep people away from him. Like maybe
hmm
he's just not personable with strangers, which I can also understand. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
you think these drivers like when drivers don't want to sign autographs or whatever or take pictures, it's like it, it sucks as a fan, but like you gotta think you got all these people pushing stuff in your face. You know, they could be picking their nose and then trying to shake your hand. You know,
Yeah, and he was big in the '90s when NASCAR was blown up.
but
So I get it. One guy who seems unapproachable, but really is Ryan Newman.
I've never met Ryan. I've never met him.
He is. You look at him, and I go to Millbridge sometimes, and he's out there helping his daughter run, and he looks very unapproachable. But he is probably one of the nicest guys around.
Ooh, all right. Here's another one. Two. Here's like one that's really nice. One that's really tall, nice and tall. Was Elliott Sadler for a NASCAR
Yeah,
driver?
I can see
He's
that.
tall. I
Austin
said,
Cindric is tall.
yeah, he is. I went up to Elliott Sadler. I said, Mr. Sadler, I don't mean to bother you. Do you mind if? And he's like, No, I don't mind at all. With his little, someone who's nice on TV but not in person, just from my observation, Eric Almirola.
I've heard that.
He is
I
not
have.
as
I
friendly
have
as he
heard
comes
that.
off on TV.
I've heard that he may be a little bit of a pain to work with.
I heard he punched a certain driver in the face in a team meeting.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard he's done that too.
Someone who else is really nice was Michael McDowell, and I've raced with his
Yep,
son on
he is very
iRacing.
nice.
Um, you know, like I said, I understand that these drivers probably get bugged by all sorts of fans, but like the ones who make the effort to sign is, you know,
hmm
you love to see it.
I
Someone
do
who
too.
gives me that vibe that's probably really nice. I haven't seeked his autograph, and I'm not a fan of him racing wise. I bet Ross is probably pretty nice.
I got to. I haven't met. Actually, no, that's not a lie. I've met Ross. I actually remember this now. We were standing on the grid. This one worked for Brett. I want to say Texas or somewhere, wherever Ross was racing. And we were standing there with Shiplet, and Shiplet was a crew chief at Ganassi while Ross was there. Came up, and I think he knew one of the other guys, my car chief maybe, came up, and he was like talking to them, and he looked at me, and he said, "Hey, I'm Ross," and shook my hand, and yeah, he was really, really nice. And I met him, I didn't really meet him, but asked for his autograph and a picture at Michigan, one of the years we went for a truck race.
Yeah, you like the guys who you gotta enjoy the guys who are people pleasers or people, you know, the people person. A
hmm
few of the drivers that I just an observation, um, that same Richmond race, like I got Blaney's autograph, and I'm like your average height guy, like 5'9", 5'9.5". I'm not short, but I'm not. I'm just average height. But if you ask my wife, she's like, "Why are you so tall?" I'm like, "Well, because you're short." Um, but like I saw drivers like Blaney and Logano and Byron and Bell who just looked so annoyed signing autographs.
Yeah, Blaney, I think Blaney's just got a RFB or a
He's
RBF.
short. He's super
He
short.
is short. You know who's really short? You wouldn't realize it till you're standing next to him. Is Tyler Reddick.
I think a lot of you can tell that on TV.
That is true. But Tyler Reddick is really short.
um, yeah, they're all short. I mean, I'm assuming it helps some, but like
Mhm.
I heard Denny say on his podcast he's 6 foot. I stood next to Denny, we're like the same height. I'm like 6 foot in my butt, maybe with your helmet on, but you
I'm
ain't no 6 foot.
yeah, he might be a little shorter than me. We went out to a bar. This is actually funny. You know how he does his basketball league?
Oh yeah, you know anybody who
So we
plays in
went
it?
out. I know Denny, but no, I don't actually know anybody that's in it. Well, I don't really know Denny. I know of Denny. But we went to one of the bars, one of the infamous racer bars around the area, and they had just wrapped up their championship game, and Denny and all his buddies came walking in.
Nice.
So that was kind of cool.
Nice.
But yeah, he's just a normal. He's out in public. He is just a normal guy. Like he just wants to go out and have a good time.
Denny?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well, poor old Denny. He's had a rough couple months.
yeah. I feel bad for him.
I hope he just comes out like on fire. We'll see. Time
I
will
think
tell.
you're gonna see. I think you're gonna. I mean, you're starting to see a new Denny, right? Where he's starting to just whatever happens, happens. But I think you're gonna see one now where he's gonna fire off, and it's gonna be if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. And I think it might be good for him.
Yeah, we'll see. And when I was mentioned one of the drivers who just kind of has that RBF, Christopher Bell. Do you know who else has just got as much an ego as him? And just from what I've seen, I could be really wrong, but from what I've seen, is his wife.
I've heard that.
Like me and my wife were waiting for because we go to this certain spot where we wait for Denny, and we were waiting for him to come back from I'm like, he just finished qualifying. He's not on the pole, so he doesn't have to do this media stuff. He's gonna be here in like 5 minutes. I know it. Well, we were waiting. Well, Mrs. Bell drives by on this golf cart, and you'd have thought, like, we looked at her, and my wife was, like, smiling and being polite. You'd have thought we, like, spat on her.
Mm.
like, like, and then you see her, like, on social media, like, being all friendly or crying if Christopher wrecks out and whatnot, and it's just like I want your husband to not, one, because I don't want him to beat my driver, but, like, you're not friendly. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
she doesn't really have a reason to, I guess, but I don't, It is what it is. iRacing. Let's talk about your NSRLA debut, man. We're going on. You're going to have the longest episode. You're going to have the
Yeah,
longest.
you got me
episode.
talking about racing. That
No, it's
we
good.
could go forever
It's
on
good.
that.
There's no time limit unless my wife is teaching. And she's doing college professor stuff. So we probably should wrap up soon. But tell me about your debut. I was in the booth that night. My first time. It was your debut on the track for us, and it was my debut in the booth. So tell us about your race. How'd it go?
Well, I got into it. I seen it, and I was like, well, I can get it signed up. You know, I got it all figured out, and I was like, I think I want to start in the back. And well, I had seen. I don't know if I had maybe just seen it and I read it, but I swear I read somewhere that you have to qualify. And I was like, all right,
That
well, I
this
guess I'll
series,
qualify.
yeah, but that
Yeah.
race, not many people. It's 28.
Okay.
28.
Well, I seen it and I was like, well, I'm gonna qualify just because I read it. And then I think I qualified fourth or fifth. And I was like, oh great, here we go, right? Like I did not want to be involved unless I was involved, like, you know, up front. And I was like, well, I guess we'll see what happens. And my strategy at Darlington is very conservative. Like if I try to step, I will overstep so far that right front will be burned off so fast. So I have to just be cautious. So I was just trying not to get run over while maintaining my stuff. And I think I lost a couple spots in the beginning, but I stayed in the top 10. And next thing you know, I'd let them go. And 10 laps later, I'm catching them back. And I was like, I don't think I'm that bad.
Yeah, you did. You did a good job. I mean, especially a debut at Darlington and these O'Reilly cars. That's like just they're like the Cup cars are like tanks, and these are polar opposite. One little slip up and it's all over. Turn two
Yeah,
that night was nobody's friend.
no. And once you would let laps get on your tires, you could really get it to start going. But man, if you got too much throttle on like 2 lap tires, you were going around, or you were gonna burn them up.
Happened to so many people.
It did. It really did, and that's where I felt. I mean, as long as I could maintain a speed and not get run over, even though I felt like I got ran over a couple times, but that was actually in 3 and 4 and not 1 and 2.
Well,
But
a lot of the night, a lot of people were. I mean, yeah, obviously 3 and 4 you can have issues too, but like a lot of that night, turn two was nobody's friend. They were just getting loose out of two and an inside wall, just issues.
yep. And then what got me was I was under the impression that no matter what, we were going to have a stage break at lap 80. Well, when we had that caution in the middle of stage 2, I had managed to save enough, or I don't know actually how that all fell, but I had managed to save enough fuel where I looked with about 25 to go and I could make it to the end with about 2 to the good. And then we ran those extra laps after lap 80 and I ended up running out of fuel on pit road after the caution came out. Because I didn't realize we were going to wait till the 10th place guy made lap 80, even if he was a lap down.
Now you know for next year. What's your plans for NSRLA? I know you're obviously going to be busy working at the shop and being at races. Um, I think there's only one thing that's like on Saturdays, so I think
Yeah,
it's like
it'll probably
ARCA.
be
What's your plans?
nothing weekends. Just I'm gonna keep those open for if I have off, just
Life,
whatever.
yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to commit to something and be like, I can only run 5 races. Weeknight stuff I'll run. I really like Xfinity stuff. That's probably about what I'll do. I dabble in the cup car a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the shifting aspect of it. It's something I need to get better at. But it definitely, I'll probably do the Xfinity series for sure, and maybe anything else random you guys throw on weeknights if I feel like it. But I'll probably do a lot of um, just like strategy stuff for some of the Bandits guys.
Yeah, yeah, and if you made 4 or 5 races a year for whatever series, it's no big deal. They're not going to be like, oh, you have to. Only way you have to race a certain amount of races if to like be eligible for the chase. I don't want to say
Yeah.
playoffs now because good riddance. Um, but yeah, if you just ran 4 or 5 races and you're running ARCA or whatever, and you just were like wanting to race just to race, then you know,
Hmm.
there's no big deal there. But what do you like running official wise?
Everything, anything I can get into, depending on the time. I'm not super discriminate. Xfinity's definitely my favorite. I think I like how you can kind of just pace yourself and be good. The trucks, I feel like you just have to run so hard at all times. And Arca is almost the same way, but Arca is one of those where you can kind of lay back. But the problem is, if you lay back too far, you're probably going to get run over in
I
those officials.
I haven't been running I want to run the and hopefully I get to the Indy cars at Talladega because if you can
No.
survive, you have a chance to win. Um, like you, all you, it's that's what race is all about survival. So just stay in the back, don't lose the draft, and if you do lose the draft, hope they wreck. But like, I really want to run that. But it's also a risk because of safety rating. But uh,
Yeah, that's the worst part with those, like in 2 weeks here when all the series go to Daytona. It's like it's actually so much fun to do. I mean, even if you get wrecked, right? Like just getting in it and just trying to get through the draft and work with people, and it's in all honesty one of I don't want to say it's stressful, but it's just like, whatever happens happens. If you get up to the front and you can win it, go for it. But it does suck that it affects your rating so bad.
the best races for the Daytona week coming up are going to be truck races because you can draft really well with those trucks. You can pass. Xfinity's fun, but like if just the way the front bumpers are, um, one bad push and it's a nightmare. And then with the Cup cars, like everybody gets in a line and you can't pass, and if you try to pass, you're screwed. As we already know this. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you something you don't know, but like, so I think for Daytona when it comes up on iRacing, it's gonna be the trucks. You're gonna have the best racing there, I
Oh
think.
yeah, and that's always fun. Like I love trucks on the super speedways. Those are always so much fun. And I feel like they're some of the best lobbies because I think guys who run trucks all the time in those officials are just so good at running hard all the time and just being close quarters to people.
What would you add if you were in charge of I'm going to sound like a broken record, and because I always ask this, I want to ask every guest what they would add if you were in charge. Like, what would you add to iRacing? What would you change?
As in like add like tracks or features or
Anything? Like, would you add certain car? Like, example, I would add the late '90s, early 2000 IROC cars. I would add um, cars from the '70s, and then any car that's not being run for officials, I would make them AI eligible because there's so many cars like legacy Indy cars
Mhm.
that you can't run in AI mode. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I get that. No, that I get what you're saying there. That would be cool to have a lot more AI opportunities. For me personally, I want Berlin on iRacing. I will preach that till it either gets put on or I die because I want to be able to run that track on iRacing, and I think it'd be a great racetrack to put on there.
So you would add some tracks, just that
Yeah,
one.
I'd add Berlin for sure. Um, I think Winchester would be a cool one.
Okay, I'm
That would
not
be
familiar with
pretty
that one.
neat.
Berlin's in Michigan, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, all right, yeah. Um, What's the racing culture like up there?
And the funny thing is it's probably like a mini Charlotte or a mini Mooresville. I mean, we have three super they call them straight rail cars, but super pro late model builders up there alone,
Um,
along with drag racing stuff and some other stuff. So it is a small racing community, like Mooresville is, just way smaller.
it's interesting how much it's NASCAR's or racing's got grown and kind of diverse regionally. Like back in the day, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, is a bunch of guys from the South, Southeast. And now it's brand. You got like Gino Volante that was worked in NASCAR and races with us. He is from uh, Long Island, and he said back in the '80s he raced like in those Cape Cod, North Mid Atlantic regions, and thinking about guys who are racing from up north, like Michigan or Minnesota, where that's like maybe hockey country, but like have competitive racing. You got people from all over. It's just deep and
Yeah.
wide now.
And I think
Where it used to be
the
just
the
deep.
concept of left turns put a lot of different types of race cars under, per se, the NASCAR or stock car banner. Because up in the Midwest, you've got either dirt racing, so you got your dirt modifieds, dirt late models, super late models, all that. Or on the asphalt side, you have their own version of modifieds, or you have late models, which are straight rail cars, so supers and pro late models. That was never really an accepted concept down here till the last 10 years. It was always late model stocks, but they're still late models. And out
Pro.
west,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you're good. You're good.
Oh, well, out west they would do this. They still had like the pro late model stuff, but out west you had micros and midgets and sprint cars, and those eventually made their way to the east in the Midwest.
What pro late models? I think that'd be cool. I don't know if iRacing could do it because I don't know what difference it would make, but if they could do it, one, I'd like to see them add pro late models to iRacing, and then you know how we have mini stocks? I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
see them add mini stock trucks.
Oh, or like super trucks.
Super late model trucks would be cool as well.
Yep.
That would be
So I
really
think
cool.
I don't know the pro. It would be very easy for them to do a pro car because they already have the scan of a Hamp key straight rail car. All they would have to do is change the horsepower because they're identical. Your gearing would change. You don't, I mean, Setup's a little different because pro late model racing would be momentum based. So you would just got to keep your momentum up and running. Where supers, you can really dive it down the corner and just hammer on it and get the car to do what you want. It would be unique to do a pro race, but I don't know how exciting it would be. I don't want to say it'd be boring to drive, but you'd either run it really hard like you would a late model stock, or you would follow each other in line a lot. Unless you made it to where it was only open setups, then I think you would have diversity in speed.
Um, I don't know if there's tracks out in like the Midwest. When I say Midwest, I mean like Montana, Wyoming, Utah. I'm sure there's maybe some short tracks or some dirt tracks, but like I wonder if they could ever make a track like an Iowa type vibe out there, like in front of the
There are.
mountains or in the middle of like, and I mean like trucks are going out there to race or whatever. Like, cause like 20 years ago, the truck series would go out and race at these, like they race at a track called Memphis
Mhm.
that I don't even know if it exists anymore.
I
Um,
know it exists. I don't think anything runs there anymore.
but
But yeah,
like
they used to go to like the fairgrounds and all that, the
stuff like
Nashville
that.
fairgrounds. Yeah.
And I feel like Montana or Wyoming, just for the natural beauty of it, like talk about like your stereotypical place in Montana or Wyoming, out in the middle of a field, and in the background you see nothing but these great big beautiful mountains. I think that'd be cool.
It would be. Colorado's got a couple tracks that are paved that they do some bigger, not like super big late model stuff, but there's some big races out there. But I think Utah is a lot of dirt racing, and I'm sure that Montana and them are the same way. I'm sure it's just not that popular until you start getting to like California, Nevada, and all that.
That's a shame because the like imagine the beauty that you could bring to like Montana or Wyoming, like the scenery alone, I think could attract people. But if you only have like 500 people within 30 miles, then I guess you might not. I don't know. I've never
Yeah,
been there, so I
it'd
can't.
be hard to say. I think, well, they kind of took the truck series for whatever reason and decided to do big track stuff, and they gave the ARCA series the small tracks, like your local short tracks, which used to kind of, like you said, it was used to be the opposite. The ARCA series used to go to the big tracks, and the truck series used to hit up the little stuff
ARCA
back in the
series
mid
used to have like
2000s.
40 cars. I remember seeing a video of them racing at Sonoma, and it had like 40
Yeah, the
cars out
the
there
prize
racing.
money used to be better back in the day, and the rules were a lot looser than they are now. And they're still pretty loose, but I mean, you used to hear about cup teams taking a cup car and going ARCA racing. Cup engines, cup chassis, the whole nine.
That seems fair.
Yeah, real fair, right? But
um,
they talk about it like that they used to take the ARCA cars, and that's all ARCA cars are. Everything now you see in the ARCA field is a Gen 6 Cup car that's been converted.
man, I miss those Gen 6 cars. I mean, don't I might be in the I might be one of the very few people when it comes to this topic, when it comes to the next gen cars. Take out racing, but looks wise, I like them
Oh yeah, they're the best. They are probably the best looking car,
because they
especially
look
on a
legit.
consumer
They
basis.
look like a real car.
Yes. Yep.
Um, but they got to fix some things for sure. Time will tell. I wonder what the next Cup car will look like. Because they're already probably coming up with an idea for some Gen uh 8 car.
Yeah, the problem is it's where do you go, right? Because now you can't go backwards.
Mm.
We cannot go back to what the trucks in the Xfinity car are, which is truck arms and screw jack suspension. Now I feel like the Cup Series is stuck in the transaxle and independent suspension world. So we're I don't know where you go from here with it.
Yeah. They haven't called me. NASCAR executives haven't called me and asked me, so your guess is as good as mine. You'll know before
They
I
won't
do.
they won't call me. I can promise you
Well,
that.
you'll know before I do, though.
I might, and if I find
They're
out, I'll
going
key you in, but you
to
can't say anything.
spec trucks, yeah? They're go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna. I feel like that's just gonna kill short, low budget local short track guys. You're just
yeah.
gonna have to have money.
I mean, that's all racing's been for 5 to 10
Uh, uh,
years now.
it is. You're right, but it has allowed guys that are local short track guys to have opportunities. Now I feel like it's just gonna kill it.
Yeah, I would be surprised if NASCAR switches how the trucks, at least the trucks and the ARCA cars, are built in the next 10 years. Xfinity, I mean, there's been all sorts of talks with that, right? About the Xfinity series going electric or changing it up so it has more of an identity. But you almost don't need that anymore because it's the Xfinity series is as close as it was to, as people would fans would call, the golden era of NASCAR, which I mean they're identical besides body. Some guys are still racing Xfinity chassis from 2008.
Lord have mercy.
Like they're just updated.
One thing that I'm not happy about the truck series is that they made the pit crew guys, they have to wear the same fire suit, which I understand, uniformity and all of that, but like it'd be one thing if it was like the Spire guys or the Tricon guys or you guys, but when you got guys pitting Jennifer Joe Cobb's truck, why do they have to have the same fire suit? I heard that's a rule that they enforced. I don't know how much they are enforcing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
I think it
like I
takes
said,
away
we
from the
we
sport.
have the match. We have matching stuff. So for us, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
fine for the big teams, but when you got guys who are going to be 12 laps down,
yeah, I
what,
don't understand why it matters either.
Norm
Unless
Benning,
it's their way to try and enforce SFI dates, so safety rating dates.
that's
So they don't got to.
understandable. Fair, that
So
is
you're not chasing these small budget teams around who went and bought their suits from who knows where, and you got to now make sure that all their stuff's in date.
if the SFI is there, I get that. As long as you have the right SFI, your SFI suit is in standards. Who cares if the tire changer has a black fire suit and the jackman has a green? As
No,
long as the
I
SFI is
definitely agree.
there, who cares?
Unless
But you're taking
unless they're
away.
trying to unless they're trying to nail down giving out penalties on pit roads, so they need to identify team members better.
Look,
But
I'm
yeah,
sure
I
they're
don't
gonna have
know.
a NASCAR official that's like, oh, he belongs with him. Just go up there and ask him,
Yeah,
And
right.
if it's somebody who's not in contention to win, I mean, maybe they lose a tire. Okay, whatever. They got cameras all over that place. But like, I'm coming off as biased because I'm a guy that would have to be on a small team,
Right.
given my situation. Because there's no way Mrs. Bristow is gonna let me go down to Charlotte. She lets me travel to go in races, but like that's about it. Um, yeah, I just think it kind of takes away the small team feeling, and it just kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
here I got some rapid questions. We are kind of nearing the end, and I got some rapid fire questions for you. We are pushing like in 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. We're gonna hit 2 hours, which we just kept going. It's impressive. We could have called a whole NSRLA race by now.
Well, maybe you'll have to have me in there sometime.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. But yeah, so I'm just gonna give you some rapid fire questions. Um, and then you just answer them honestly. It's just like I said, it's just to get to know you. Who is Tyler Gebben? So, what's your go-to bar drink?
Usually it's a Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. That's solid. That's solid. Uh, what if you can't have it? Like, what if there's not a Miller Lite on the menu?
Usually any tap beer, or I'm a Captain and Coke kind of guy.
Captain Coke's good. Like, so you're like just your standard like lager. Like, I'm just gonna Miller Lite, Budweiser, or
Probably
Corona.
more the light stuff.
Just,
Miller Lights, Bud Lights, Bush Lights. I'm not actually really that picky at all, in all honesty.
well, the point I was making was like kind of like the big brand name stuff, not like those IPAs or
Yeah, no,
whatever.
not a
It's
big
like
craft beer kind of guy.
called Rabbit Pirate Beer or whatever. Like there's some wacko ones out there, and I don't drink them because they sound wacko. Um, but they could be good beers. I don't know. I know Brett Wren, one of our guys that races in the NSRLA. He had this beer sponsor on one of his cars, like a bear, and it was like pink and blue, and it looked just the logo alone made the beer look good. But it could be
Hmm.
nasty. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the beer. But all right, Miller Lite. That's a good choice. Solid choice. That's what my dad likes. If he ever has beer in his fridge, it's that. Um, what is your favorite racing memory as a fan? It could be something you watched, but like maybe for this one, like in person at the racetrack.
My dad took me to Talladega when I was 9 years old,
That's an adventure, isn't it?
and yeah, I don't think he knew what he was getting into. I don't remember anything of like what I hear now about Talladega or seen at Talladega nowadays. But yeah, that race. So I was a huge Carl Edwards fan growing up,
I miss him.
and my
Miss him
dad
so
took
much.
me to the race that Carl was gonna win and blocked Brad Kay in that '09 car and went up into the fence and looked like he was about died.
Man, I miss Carl Edwards so much, and I feel like that's how. Again, I'm gonna sound so biased because I'm a Denny guy, but I feel like when Denny's gone, people are gonna miss him because I get it. Because I used to think Carl Edwards was the biggest jerk on the planet back in the day. Because I'm like, he will totally wreck you. But man, that guy had so much personality. We just had it so good 20 years ago when we
We
had
did.
race day shows and whatnot, and you could show up to Richmond on a Friday night and see Kenny Wallace and Jimmy Spencer on the race day stage talking about
Oh yeah,
racing. We had it so good. Everything was on TV, practice, happy hour, and now we got nothing. You got to stream
I
to watch
know,
it. Just like we
and
have
it's a shame.
fallen.
Like I was probably too young to really realize how much of the racing content was on TV back then. But oh yeah, I remember my dad taking me to Michigan for my first Cup race, and it was it Kenny Wallace and Jimmy Spencer? They did like the pre one of the
Yeah,
like early pre-race
John
shows.
Roberts.
Yeah, and like that was cool. But like my dad got pit passes, and we went and we stood there for about 10 minutes and listened to him talk, and like that was cool. So it is, and I wish the people my age who were fans could have seen that era, because there was so much stuff that I wish I could have been able to comprehend back then, of content and just all the cool stuff that happened, and the driver personality, that we lack that so much.
That's what I try to sell to people if they've never been to a NASCAR race. I'm like, you need to go. It's not just about the racing. It doesn't matter if the race is going to be boring. Well, one, don't go to a boring race. But two,
Right.
um, like, get there. If it's a weekend race, get there on a Friday afternoon, camp out there, drink beer, eat good food, explore, see every race they have that weekend, and you're going to get your money's worth. If you don't like it after that, okay, you never have to go again. But if you do enjoy it, you'll want to go again, and you've gained a fan to the NASCAR family. Um, I remember when I was in the Air Force, um, I just gotten back from deployment, and this sergeant was like, does anybody want to go to Talladega? This was in 2015. He's like, we are going to go to Talladega for the race. If you're interested in going, let me know. I raised my hand. I'm like, I'm going. And he's like, do you want pit passes? I said, yes. He's like, it's going to cost this much money. So I went and got the cash and gave it to him. And I drove from the house. I was off base at that time, and I was staying in a house with a bunch of people. Drove from there to Talladega. It was like 6 hours. I woke up at like 6 in the morning, maybe earlier, got dressed, packed my 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix, ran to Walmart back when Walmart was open 24 hours a day. We used to be a proper country. um,
You
got
could
a
buy beer early that then too.
yeah. Um, I remember like the cutoff was like 2 or 3 a.m. And then it was like
Yep.
by 6 a.m. you could go in there and buy. So I got like a bunch of drinks. I got a bunch of snacks and food, and I drove to Talladega and I went to the campgrounds. I didn't bring a tent because I'm not a camping guy. I just slept in the passenger seat of my car, and I was as happy as a clam. We
Oh
watched the
yeah.
ARCA race, we watched the Xfinity race, and then we watched the Cup race. And it's just such an adventure. That place is so massive. It's
Hmm.
insane.
Yeah.
Talladega's a good
It,
time.
oh, it's a good time. That's one of the racetracks. Like if somebody was gonna go for their first race, it would be that one.
Yeah, it's a good
Like
one.
I would tell them just to go to Talladega, because I think that place produces enough of an atmosphere where even if you don't understand what's going on in the race, and I think you can watch a cup race there, and if you have no idea what's going on, like you or I can watch a cup race at Talladega, and I'll be like, this is just another boring Talladega race, thanks to this lovely car they've given us.
Oh yeah.
But
Fuel saving.
a new person going there and being like, they're running side by side for 188 laps consistently and not wrecking or wadding the whole field up. That's cool for them.
Yeah. You know, another cool thing about Talladega is when they're doing the pace laps and they start singing "Sweet Home Alabama."
True.
That's fun.
Yep.
Um, they say "Roll Tide, roll" because they're all a bunch of Bama fans.
Yep.
Um, question number 3: what is your dream vacation?
I don't know if I have one, in all honesty. If it is, it would probably be some sort of hunting trip out west in
Ooh,
like Montana or Utah,
go after some
Colorado.
elk.
Elk, or I always thought I got to go do my first mule deer hunt this past year out there, and I seen a American pronghorn and antelope for the first time, and I thought those were cool.
I
So
don't
that's on my list to go to.
I don't know anything about elk hunting, but when you said Montana, I just quoted Carrie Earnhardt in the 3 movie. He's like, "We want to go to Montana next year and go after some elk."
Elk would be cool. I would do it. Don't get me wrong, I would do it. But that's one of those ones where it's like everybody wants to go elk hunting. And I either want to go chase big whitetails or mule deer, or I want to go do an antelope hunt. I think that would be cool.
Question number 4: who's your favorite pro athlete, if you have one?
Growing up, my favorite pro athlete was Shaun White, being a snowboarder. And he might
Dude, the
still be.
flying tomato.
Dude, that dude was
The
baller.
dude was
Like,
legit.
and going completely off topic here, and I'm big on progression of any sport I love, racing, wakeboarding, snowboarding. I mean, he brought the sport of snowboarding to a whole new level that I don't know if there's another person right now who could. There's a couple, but they don't have the personality like he did. The dude used to go rip the super fight at X Games in jeans.
Have you ever
Like,
seen the
nobody does
interview of
that now.
him? I think it was the Olympics. He had come back with an Olympic gold medal. Back he's like 19 years old, and he's like eating good food and drinking. And the little interviewer's like, "What are you drinking? You're 19." And he's like, "Well, Mountain Dew, of course."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you just don't like at least snowboarding and still has that kind of personality. And there's some racing too, but you just don't have that anymore. Everyone's either too clean cut or they just don't even want to get on a microphone.
Shaun
Like,
White, he's the only one that I really know. I couldn't tell you any other snowboarder. When I think of like extreme athletes like him, the other only guy that comes to mind for me is Travis Pastrana, and that guy's
yes.
whoo, he's
He would
nuts.
he's on my list too. And he's running Daytona, right? Daytona in the
I think he's
truck?
running a truck or an Xfinity car,
Yes. He's
something.
running for Nice. I
He,
don't remember. I know he's running at Nice, but I don't remember. I think it's just Daytona he's running.
the guy's got a lot of personality. I remember
Oh,
when
he
he
is
was just a kid
great.
doing dirt bike racing, and then he just was like, "Screw this! I'm gonna go do wild stunts."
Well, didn't that all start because he won a national championship racing and he did a backflip over the start finish line jump and they like penalized him or something like that
I don't
at the
know.
end of a race and he was
That's
like, I'm
years
just gonna go
ago.
do freestyle stuff.
I don't know. That's like, gosh, last time, like when he was racing, I think the last time like he was legit racing, it had to be like late '90s, early 2000s. And like, do you ever follow motocross?
A little bit, yeah.
Like, I know some drivers like him, Travis Pastrana, McGrath, um, and a few others. But like, yeah, it's been years since he's done like legit motocross racing, I think, and he's just ever since then he's been doing that crazy nitro crazy circus or whatever,
Oh yeah. And
jumping
like,
out of airplanes with no parachute and having his
yeah,
buddies catch him.
yeah, growing up as a kid, like Nitro Circus, that was like the cool stuff.
Guy's
Like
crazy.
all that. And then they did the live shows. I remember going to a live show when I was like 14 or 15. They came around to near one of our towns and like it was all so cool.
I remember when Travis first got into NASCAR. I'm like, okay, this would be interesting, and he stunk. But
Yep.
I would rather be a guy who stinks and can race for 35 years than not do it. You know?
Yeah, but and he's one that just I think you give him a short stint, I think he could beat a lot of guys in a short stint in just about anything. He's got so much experience in so many different things. And especially rally car racing, like that's not easy.
No, no. Have you ever seen like the videos, like the guys driving and like the guys giving it? I don't know how the guys can read their writing, the instructions, like tell them, um, take a left here, short right here, uh, long turn, triple caution. Have you seen the Sammy?
Oh,
You're
I've
killing
seen
the
him.
car.
My favorite one, speaking of Travis Pastrana, is when he rolls it
Oh, I haven't
in
seen
the in
that.
car. Oh my god, you got to go find when he rolls it like 7.5 times, and you could tell that Travis is amped up. He's like, "Woo, that was awesome!" And he
There's a,
looks at his driver and goes, "Are you okay?" And his driver just straight or his guy in the passenger seat straight monotones, just like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
there's a
Like,
video on Instagram or YouTube, and it's a rally car driver. He's like really good. He's like this Indian dude, and he is like nuts. And I don't know if you've heard it. It's called Sammy, You're Breaking the Car.
oh, I have not seen that
This
one.
he's
No.
like this guy. He's like triple caution, stay center. Triple caution, stay center. And he's like, Sammy, you have to listen to my calls. And Sammy's driving. And he's just nuts. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Shut up, shut up. And he's telling him what to do. He like almost runs this guy over. And he's like, Sammy, listen to my calls. And then it starts like the way he starts out. He's like calm, and then he's like getting angry. Then it comes like depression, and he's like begging him to stop at the end. He's like, Samir, you're breaking the car. Please, you have to listen to me. It's funny. So if you just go on YouTube and type in Sammy, you're breaking the car, funny video.
I'll have
Funny
to go look at
stuff.
that.
Um, uh, what's your dream job in NASCAR? Now, you can't say driver because I think every NASCAR fan on the planet would say driver. And if they didn't say driver, I'd question them because
I
we
think
all
it'd
wish
be.
we could race.
I mean, yeah, but I'd probably get my ass kicked if I was racing. But for me,
Well, in this scenario, if you said your dream job was a NASCAR driver, we're going to put
yeah.
extremely good NASCAR driver.
All right. So it wouldn't be. I think in my, and I'm not saying I'm old, but in what I've done
Don't
in
you
a short
dare.
period of time.
I'm almost 34. So I feel young still. Don't say
Yeah,
old.
you can do whatever, but just anything. I think if I am tempted to do a whole year in the Cup Series, whether that's would probably be like a tire specialist in the Cup Series. I definitely don't see myself as a crew chief. Maybe in a late model world, I could see myself as a crew chief, car chief, maybe. But I mean, definitely like a realistic like goal or dream would be in the Cup Series, probably doing tire and interior stuff. For sure, road crew, something along those lines.
That's definitely achievable, man. You're like 2 steps away. That is
Feels like
definitely
it.
achievable, man. Whereas mine,
It feels like it.
tire changer. I mean, that's my not. Well, I don't want to say job because it would never be a job, but like an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
um, like a part-time opportunity. But that would be mine. But Nito. So the last thing I got, which was, this was all like personal questions, but this is like a tally we got going on. And I don't know if you've seen it, but like the first podcast I did, I asked someone like random questions, and I was like, "Does pineapple go on pizza?" And then the next podcast, I asked them that, and I just started keeping tally after that. So I ask you, does pineapple go on pizza?
It depends on how hungry I am and or how drunk I might be.
Well, you gotta give me a yes or
I
no,
could
because I
eat
gotta
it.
tally it. Unless I should put.
The problem is I can eat it either way, so it doesn't really affect me. Like, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. Would I order it on a normal basis? No. If it was my only option and I was hungry, yeah, I would eat it. So,
I guess I could just put you down for yes and no.
yeah, just put one of each and just even it out.
So yes is gonna go up to 3, but no is gonna go up to like 8.
Oh man.
uh,
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, that's all good, man. Yeah, no, it's a no for me. Like, I don't want fruit on my pizza. Like, I want to enjoy like meat lovers is my go-to, sausage is my go-to,
I mean,
stuffed
I do love a
crust.
good supreme pizza, so I'm with you on that. Pineapple would ruin a supreme pizza.
Ugh, good. Like, there's some odd toppings that you like. Bacon's good on pizza to me. But there's some anchovies. Like,
Yeah, nope.
ugh, come
No, I'm
on.
good.
Like
Nope. If I want fish, I'm getting fish tacos, not it on my pizza.
mushrooms, I don't like. That's not too terrible, but like, I'm not eating it on mine. I'm picking it off. No, thank you. It's just,
Uh,
ugh. But anyway, man, you and I have gone for 2 hours and 11 minutes. That is, give yourself a pat on the back. We've talked for 2 hours straight. It's just been straight. No, like, pause or anything. But this is, this is the end. I gotta get off and send you on your way because I gotta go do dishes. Do you like
oh,
doing dishes?
yeah. I mean, not really,
Neither
but
do I.
I don't, what do I gotta do tonight?
I was gonna
Probably
ask you,
eat.
what
I
are you
haven't
gonna do?
really eaten anything, so
You have
probably
to.
should do that.
What are your plans? Like, what do you think you'll eat? I had a Caesar Caesar wrap. That was good.
It's gonna depend on how lazy I feel when I get up to the kitchen on what I eat tonight. Plus, I might try and jump in an official tonight. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have time to because my wife will be home soon, and she'll want to talk. And her and I are going to Disney in May, so we'll probably
Ah,
talk about that. She turned me into a Disney guy. I grew up going to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and my mom would call me Mr. Busch Gardens. And then after my wife took me to Disney for the first time because she grew up going there, we went for our honeymoon. I was like turned. I'm hooked. I can't wait to go in. It's fun. I had a
too
blast.
bad. Too bad they still don't have the race car track they used to have back in the day.
They do. Are you talking about the Tomorrowland Speedway?
Do they still have it? Because I heard that they got rid of it.
Tomorrowland Speedway. Are you talking about the one where you actually drive, or the one that you sit and it's super fast?
No, the one you actually drive. They
Yeah,
used to have
Tomorrowland
one.
Speedway's there.
Huh.
Yeah.
My dad told me about it because he used to run it. I swear that they paved it over into a parking lot.
No, that sucker's still there. Unless it's talking about something else. But there's a Tomorrowland Speedway where you get like in this go kart and it's on a rail, and like when you're driving
Oh
in it,
no,
it's
this
go.
was a legit racetrack. Like getting like a Richard Petty driving experience
Oh,
car
oh,
and
oh, oh,
drive
oh,
it.
oh, oh. Okay, I know what you're talking about. The Disney World Motor Speedway. Like they legit race that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
no, no, no.
legit had like late model races there and stuff, and they had I think full time the Richard Petty driving experience had stuff there.
Yeah,
back
that
in the
I
day.
don't know. I thought you were talking about the Tomorrowland Speedway. Like
No, I was
there's
gonna
a
say, I'm like, there's no way. I swear that they turned it into a parking lot.
thing where you get into a little car at the park in the park and you drive on this track. That's what
Oh
I thought you were
yeah.
talking about.
No, no, I'm a legit racetrack.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think that's been gone for years, which is a
Yeah, I
shame.
think
Come
so.
on, Disney, get more involved in NASCAR.
Yeah, let's get back into it.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah, that'll be a
Ty-
good time.
Tyler, it has been awesome talking to you. Um, Looking forward to seeing you out on the racetrack, and then hopefully, um, unless God willing, some no, God, if God has other plans and I don't get to go to Daytona for this ARCA race, which hopefully that's not the case, um, maybe I'll see you at Daytona.
I look forward to it. I'll see you around there.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show. For all you listeners who stayed in touch for this 2 hour and 15-minute podcast, we appreciate you. For all you listeners, give it a like, follow, share it with your friends and family. Trying to get better at this podcast and stuff. Eventually, I will. I got to get a camera so then we can put our faces on here eventually. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Good night and have a good rest of y'all's week. See ya.